In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge tonight's game will take place on the original territories of the peoples of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta.
What's going on, everybody? John here with you. It's a Monday, March 4, 2024. How's everybody doing out there today? We got the Seattle Kraken and the Calgary Flames. Let's get into the starting lineups for the Seattle Kraken. 26, 23, and 11. 6 in the Pacific. Head coached by Dave Hakstol. It's Matty Beniers, Tomas Tatar, Jordan Eberle. Make sure I pull up the rest of this part of the roster here. Vince Dunn and Adam Larson, Jared McCann, Jaden Schwartz, Oliver Bjorkstrand with Jimmy Alexiak and Will Borgen, Yanni Gourde, Eeli Tolvanen, Andre Burakovsky, Ty Karchier, Brandon Tanev, Kari Yamamoto with Brian Dumoulin and Justin Schultz. Philip Grubauer will be the goaltender of record today. And for the Calgary Flames, head coached by Ryan Huska, they're 30, 25, and 5. They are 5th in the Pacific. It's Nazem, Kadri, Andrei Kuzmenko, Marty Pospisil, with Noah Hanifin and MacKenzie Weegar, Michael Backlund, Andrew Mangiapane, Blake Coleman, Oliver Shillington, and Rasmus Anderson, Yegor Sharangovich, Jonathan Huberdeau, Dryden Hunt, Kevin Rooney, Jacob Pelchier, and Walker Duer with Jordan Osterley and Braden Pascal will be on the back end defense with Jacob Markstrom in net. So as it is right now for the Seattle Kraken and the Calgary Flames, I may or may not have Cooper Hopkins joining with me on this one, and it's going to be a very busy contest if he does join in. Seattle is 26, 23, and 11, 6th in the Pacific, 9 points from wild card 2. Calgary, they've won 5 in a row, 30, 25, and 5, but they said 6 in the Pacific, 7 points of wild card 2. So even though they've been playing well of late, they've still not been able to gain any ground because the Nashville Predators have been a serious problem. They have won 8 straight games, and that's going to put a damper in anything for the wild card, and that'll be something for us to talk about going forward in the intermission. When you look at it, last week Calgary was 5 points out. Now it's 7. Again, the Nashville Predators, Calgary's got a game in hand after today, but 65 points, Nashville 72, and they're at 60 with the Kings, or the Flames. The Kings at 72 as well. So this is going to be tough sledding here, and this is very important. We'll go ahead and talk about some of the schedules and everything else going forward in our intermission. But for Calgary and for Seattle, this is go time right now. A loss for Seattle or Calgary in today's game, there's no need to be hyperbolic here because this is the truth. It would be absolutely devastating for either one of these teams. And what's very interesting is this Friday is going to be the trade deadline portion of it. So Calgary's still got a lot to do. We talked about Jacob Markstrom. We talked about Noah Hanifin, and I'll have more on that in a moment as well. There's a lot of other teams that are still going to be doing some of that dancing around the wild card line, trying to figure out to get this last push. Maybe for some of them, 19, 20 games left on the season, and try to get that home stretch just to get above that playoff line. So this is going to be a lot of fun. We'll have a lot to talk about. And again, if this is just me and the first intermission side, I will still leave you with some of the things that I prepped today. We'll also go across the scoreboard as well because we've had some very interesting results. Alec Nava is covering the Panthers and the Rangers today. Looks like Florida is going to get another win over the Blue Shirts on the road at MSG. They're up 4-2 with a minute left to go in the third. So this is going to be the last game of the day on a not so busy Monday. But John on here with you. There's going to be a lot of speculation, a lot of heavy breathing and some thoughts, regardless of either one of these teams. But I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. Again, it's been a few days since we went and covered a hockey contest. And as far as next week, we're going to have a little bit to do as far as the Calgary Flames, and we'll get some multiple assignments in. So Philip Grubauer has got a .942 save percentage over the last few games. Right now he sits at .899 for the season totals. And on the other end, it is Jacob Markstrom, 21, 15, 2, 257, 914, and 2 shutouts. He's had a fantastic year for Calgary, and we're just still wondering where he's going to go. There has been a lot of talk about that. Yegor Sharangovich, 3 goals, 2 game winners, 6 shots in the last 2 games for Eeli. So we are going to get set to get into this. John and here with you on the call, Scotiabank Saddle Dome. I do have the Matty Beniers jersey on, only because I feel like I have to on this side. Again, if I could flip it between half Kadri and half Beniers, I would do that. I'm looking forward to this matchup nonetheless. I know these two teams are desperate for points, and this should be fun. So Kadri, and in the draw against Matty. And we're underway. Number 91's got it as the jerseys in red will jump this one down the ice. And a giant hit for Marty Pospisil already. 10 seconds into the contest, as this will go back for Oliver Shillington. And now Pospisil will get back in his defensive responsibilities as Tomas Tatar, former Colorado Avalanche Red Wing, will dump this one down the ice. Markstrom trying to chip this one off the glass. This will go through neutral and touched by Will Borgen. And we get a whistle. I think a hand pass is going to be called. So Pospisil immediately, talk about it, 10 seconds into this contest, just lowers the boom on Adam Larson. He got his head put into the left side of the boards. I hope that he's okay. But Marty Pospisil, that was an anvil coming into the left side boards as he finished off that hit. And Larson looks no worse for wear, so that's good to see. And Burakovsky absorbs a hit. Jacob Markstrom near the left side of his dot will play this one down the ice and come back out of the goal crease and do it again for Shillington. Shillington's pass, dangerous through the middle as it's Dryden Hunt near the right side boards. Hunt cross pass there for Huberdeau. And this one will go the other way for the jerseys in white. You got the turquoise inside the black pants. Here's a slapper. This one goes up and on a play, and we will get a face-off. So 19:03 left to go in the first. Seattle is going to get their first shot on goal and the first hit of the game. That's going to belong to Marty Pospisil on that side. So welcome to Adam Larson as Burakovsky just able to stay on side to be able to get that pass on. So the Kraken, again, they're 2 points behind the Calgary Flames. Again, being able to take a rung of a ladder to bring somebody else down. That's kind of the storyline of this game. There's Noah Hanifin now for Mangiapane. Good touch pass. As Noah's got it now on his own end. He'll go right to left. Mangiapane off the stick chop. Get this one now near the left side red line. Here's a funnel pass out in front. This will be broken up. Hanifin, this will jump away from his skates. And now MacKenzie Weegar from the Florida Panthers. We'll get this one back here for Noah. Noah now cross pass for Mangiapane. This will chip this off the inboards. Coleman, nice work to step through. Mangiapane now near the left side red line will lose it to Oliver Bjorkstrand. And this will take a long flip down the ice for Rasmus. Rasmus Anderson now will spin near the left side red line, get started right to left. That's what the Calgary Flames want to do in this first period. As Kevin Rooney will join him off the rush for Jacob Pelche. This will be fired and blocked. Sent on the way back down here for Walker Dewar. Dewar now will send this across to his defensive pairing. Shillington is pinched in across that red line. Good jump here for Rooney to try to get a piece of the puck. Calgary Yamamoto, his pass will get picked off. Back up the back end for Calgary. And they'll have to, with Walker Dewar, just try to get around a couple of stick blades. And this will fall through Seattle. Here's an opportunity drop pass from Yamamoto. It's Larson and Dunn as they'll play crisscross. Larson now will chip this one off the glass. Too far for Tomas Tatar. Matty Beniers will get chased on Pascal as he finishes the hit. Beniers will watch this one go around the end boards here for Larson. Larson, Eberle, tip shot. And Marty will be there to pick this one up near the right side boards. Have to get a couple extra help there as Pascal tries to finish off his hit. Jordan Osterley waiting near the right side post of Jacob Markstrom as Nazem Kadri gets spun around a little bit. Jordan Eberle near the right side. Eberle wanted the slap shot, but good defense out in front for Pascal. As Kuzmenko's pass, too far for Marty Pospisil. Picked up now for Andre, the former Vancouver Canuck. Gets cross-checked by Will Borgen and Jimmy Alexiak now in his own end. We'll get this near the left side. Doug good spin around and gets set up now for Schwartz and Alexiak. As they'll take this outstretched pass across the left, bounces off some skates. And the Flames will get the puck possession now with Jonathan Huberdeau. Huberdeau's pass will be deflected and near the right side of the boards. Back in behind for number 10, but this goes up and on play. 16:41 left to go in the first. Above the seats look half full right now at the Saddle Dome. So I hope that that is not going to be foreboding for the rest of the season here. And everybody just trying to get back into their seats and get settled. John here with him, Nicole. Finish homestand strong, 9-3 overall record at home since January 26. Jacob Markstrom said this a few days ago. Again, it's nice to get those 5-6 game win streaks, but you can't follow it up losing 3 in a row. That's the life right now in the Western Conference. I think he's absolutely nailed it on that side. Huberdeau will take this draw against Yanni Gourde. Gourde will be able to shovel it now near the left side glass. Too far for Oliver Shillington as Yanni Gourde loses the puck. It's a 2-on-1. Sharangovich, I thought he was going to get it. They'll drop it near the right side. Now looking for a tip for Huberdeau instead. And now Seattle's got numbers. It's a 2-on-1. Tolvanen, he wants that pass across. Good block up by the Flames. And Oliver Shillington, that would have been a wide open goal against Jacob Markstrom. As Dryden Hunt will watch this go the other way. And Philip Grubauer go ahead and make this pass. Schwartz get it now across the left side red line for Burakovsky. I'll let Tolvanen now. He'll get the block away from Hanifin, pick it up now off his backhand, and get this near the blue line side. Here's a slap shot, rebound, and a goal! Yanni Gourde gets the Seattle Kraken on the board. It was a chance right out in front of the right side blue line that got blocked, and then Yanni picks up the rebounded puck right in front of the slot. No chance for Jacob Markstrom to go ahead and make that save. Tolvanen gets it to the blue, bounces off Backlund. Goes to Gourde. No chance for Jacob Markstrom. And Seattle going to draw first blood here. Really no chance at all for Jacob Markstrom. I give him 0% of the blame there. But Seattle, on their first shot on goal, gets a goal here. 15:56 in the first. So this will be Yamamoto. And on the draw now, it's Dewar. And Osterley will win it. We'll start again. Again, there wasn't really much to speak about as far as the crowd noise. This will get ice. And now this will be Seattle with an offensive zone draw. With 15:49 left to go in the first. Again, scoring struggles. Beniers, Tolvanen, and Bjorkstrand, 2 goals in the last 15, 2 in the last 12 for the top 3. 1 in the last 13 for Wennberg, 1 in the last 13 for Schwartz. And Yanni Gourde broke an 18-game goalless streak, getting the first in this game. So it's not been the same production. Beniers, line 1 against line 4, and Kevin Rooney. Matty Beniers will win this one clean. Now near the right side, high slot, big tip. Oh, what a gigantic save for Jacob Markstrom. That was a yawning cage near the left post. Larson now. Here's a chance. Markstrom will brush it aside, and the Flames will escape the danger. It's Dewar now for Rooney. Dewar. Try to get near the right side post. He'll slow up. Here's a back pass for him. 2 contested for Tatar. Shillington's not going to step up. And Matty Beniers will flip this one down to the catching glove of Markstrom. Slow it down for Shillington. He had to make a quick pass. And now the Flames need to be due diligent in their own end. It's Backlund now. As Yanni Gourde from Tanev and Dunn open the scoring off the first shot. Now it says 4. Again, from the last 3, it was just all in perpetuity right in a row. Calgary Yamamoto off the rush too far for Jared McCann. Calgary's going to get this steal now. He's a former Seattle native, as this is picked up here. Near the right side, cross pass for Jimmy Alexiak near the right side post, as this will get picked up now behind the net. Seattle was looking energized after that goal, as this is Alexiak. Here's a bomb. This is saved by Markstrom with the left side pad. And now Tanev wants it. Yamamoto will get it back to his D. Jimmy Alexiak near the right side dot. It kind of makes me feel like he's playing forward on this line. Shillington now will get this. Blake Coleman now for Mangiapane off a 1-on-1 drop pass. As it's Michael Backlund, the captaincy. A little too far for Mangiapane. Was not expecting that pass at all. 14:05 in the first. Seattle's got the first 5 shots on goal. And they're on the scoreboard. Bjorkstrand. As this one is tipped. Noah Hanifin now will corral a bouncing puck. Pospisil's line is out there now. As this is bounced. Pospisil now behind the cage for Nazem Kadri. Again, no Connor Zeri. He's dinged up, a little bit day-to-day listed. As this will go for a big-time slap shot pass. We're going to let this go with Kuzmenko. And this one will go wide. Again, Seattle coming off a 2-1 loss against the Oilers. The Oilers have been moving themselves up to the 2nd seed in the Pacific. Here's a tip pass. What a stop by Jacob Markstrom with the left pad. He's made 5 out of 6 saves right now. He's easily could have given up a couple more. Calgary was able to get a 4-3 comeback win on the Maker Kippersoft retirement night against the Pens. As now Yanni Gourde is back out there from scoring the game's first goal. This will go near the left side. This is picked up now for a moment. Yegor Sharangovich. It's Jonathan Huberdeau. Now the third line side. And Sharangovich near the left side boards. It's Vince Dunn. Gets a chance to pick it back up. Dunn now near the left side red line from Larson. will make the outstretched pass from 100. Tolvanen just able to stay on sides. And now the Flames will have this puck. They do not have a shot on goal yet. 12:40 left to go in the first. We're in the Saddle Dome as this is bounced. Near the right side boards, this will be the Flames that will collect this back into the neutral zone. And now spun back around as it's Jacob Pelchier off his forehand. He's just trying to find the space here. As we'll take a hand grenade pass and across what isn't the red line. So that's iced. 12:23 left to go in the first.
And he gets that up on net. Beautiful save. What a release by Eberle. You'd think that would go in, but Markstrom once again moving really well from his right to his left and becoming big coming across.
So checking back into the play-by-play here as Seattle wins another offensive zone draw. This will be Schwartz. A little too far for him off the pinch, and now Kevin Rooney trying to rush on the fourth line side. Dewar will put this toward Rooney near the right side of the red line. And picked up now back for Justin Schultz. Schultz, the former Cap, will take his sauce pass from 50 feet across the opposite blue line. Jaden Schwartz will turn back in his own end as this is recollected now near the right side red line. Calgary will go ahead and flip this in with Noah Hanifin is able to find the line. Backlund will watch this one as it's picked up by Coleman. Offsides is Mangiapane. 5-2-1 in the last 8 games are Seattle. They've been up and down so far this season. Yanni Gourde has got them on the board first. 11:43 left to go in the first frame.
Gentlemen, are you ready to learn the ways of the Dragon Warrior? Dragon Warrior? Where did she go? Okay, when you turn around, you're going to see some. Let's imagine that LL Cool J has a logo around him. You want to there are some situations that young homeowners turning into their parents just can't handle.
Yeah, there he is. There's my nephew.
Now I got a video of him.
Playing piano.
That's not how you take a selfie.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you buy one model with us.
3, 2, 1. Okay, countdown. Just take the picture.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. Moving piles of earth just by moving a lever. Up to 4,000 pounds with a machine that weighs less than half that. Cutting grass, clearing the way, and perfecting every inch of your land. We could keep trying to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at johndeere.com/get-in-the-seat. Live sports.
Flames have not looked very good at all. If not for Jacob Markstrom, it could be 2 or 3 right now for Seattle. That's how well they're playing. And you know, Brian Huska talked about this morning that Seattle played a real pressure game, and so that's what the Flames have to contend with. And it's a very much like what Pittsburgh brought on Saturday for the first 2 periods. It wasn't until the third that the Flames really got going.
Flames have been an unbelievable come-from-behind team this season, but it's not a formula you want to have to use too often, even though they have 9.
11:35 left to go in the first. Again, Yanni Gourde had opened the scoring. It's a 6-0 shot board advantage for Seattle. And again, you mentioned without Jacob Markstrom, this scoreline could look very different still. Sharangovich, here's a cross pass. I thought he would just take that near the left side dot. Calgary is 9-3 in their last 12, and they need to continue to keep that pace or even push it even further if they want to gain some ground in the West. As this is picked off, Huberdeau try to get this one for Sharangovich near the left side. Here's a slapper. This is an attempt that goes off the stick of Borgen up and on a play. I don't think Hanifin hit the crease yet, so this is going to be still 6-0 on that side of what the shot board will be. So not what Calgary has wanted right now. They've had some of these periods where they might look a little bit slow to start and then come back and come from behind, able to pick up some wins. But for Seattle, they're taking this as serious as can be right now at this point. And Philip Grubauer, as you mentioned, his save percentage almost in the 940s in his last about 5 starts. So, again, for Philip Grubauer, he doesn't have a save yet in his counter. As this is near the right side, Jacob Peltier, not too far for him. Picked up now from Eddie Beniers. Beniers, take a wrister. This goes off a couple of skates. Rasmus Anderson, as he'll turn it over to Tomas Tatar. Here's a slapper, gigantic rebound. Somehow that doesn't go in the back. Markstrom makes a sparkling stop with the right pad with traffic all in front of the net. Picked up now for Eberle. Rasmus Anderson now just takes a slow pass, trying to get this out of the end boards. Calgary will get the chip, but now taken away, knocked down Marty Pospisil and fired in deep. This bounces in behind the cage of Jacob Markstrom. He can't leave it now. This here is a matriculation around the end boards. It's McCann trying to leave for Schwartz. And this will go back down Philip Grubauer. He gets a chance to touch the puck. Shots on goal now read 8-0, and we're halfway done with the first period. Jaden Schwartz will tip it in here for MacKenzie Weegar. Weegar now off the embankment. Here's a race for the puck now for Mangiapane and Schultz. Mangiapane will get pinned against the boards. Blake Coleman, who has been one of the Flames' best players all year, will get stick lifted for Oliver Bjorkstrand. We'll get this now on the left side for Schwartz. Schwartz now trying to go for a wraparound. He gets canceled by MacKenzie Weegar. And now touch pass for Shillington. Coleman. Coleman will take a long shot. This will count. And a little bit of a Bronx cheer from the Flames crowd. That counts as the first shot on goal. As this is picked up off the clearing from Coleman on Grubauer. Osterle can't find the puck as this is picked up by Seattle now near the left side red line. Spin to find the entry as Turbo. Ty Cartier will join in off the rush. While Borgen off the hold of Peltier. It's Peltier now fumbles it near the glass. This was deflected but stopped by the left pad of Markstrom. And now onto the neutral zone. The Flames will spin back on defense as Markstrom will slow it down momentarily. Dryden Hunt now in his own end near the right side dot as Flames for Osterle. Get this now near the right side red line. This is Huberdeau now. Watches Dunn makes the pass. Dunn now try to get this one ahead for the Seattle Kraken. Going to try to take this left to right. Yanni Gourde, who has got the opening goal. We'll keep this alive off his backhand. Good pass for Burakovsky, but he had to reach with an outstretched stick. Larson now and the high slot Gourde. Here's a pass. This one somehow whistles wide off the glass. It was right in the middle of the circles for a chance. And Seattle doesn't score there as Calgary escapes the danger, but an icing is called against them. 8:16 left to go in this first. And man, oh man, Sportsnet still hasn't updated that shot board for Blake Coleman. Are they going to count that one from 100 feet or not? Because Grubauer did technically touch that one. But Jacob Markstrom with about 3 more saves as Jordan Eberle was right in front of the crease, was backing away off the backhand was Matty Beniers. And then Eberle trying to make sure he didn't get interference. And Schultz off the faceoff win again. Seattle, that's not really their strength. Here's an opportunity for Yanni Gourde. As this one gets blocked, Dumoulin will pinch in. Away from Rasmus Anderson. Now in near the right side boards. Seattle for Jaden Schwartz. Has it in behind the cage of Markstrom. Jared McCann now near the right side. Dot turn and fire. This one was bounced off Sharangovich. And now Hunt. Dumoulin off the drop pass. It's Schultz. Here's a slapper tip. Good stop by Markstrom. He's able to hold near that left side post and mercifully get a whistle. Jacob Markstrom has been brilliant in this first period, and this should be a completely different score line. We will take a break again. Jacob Markstrom, man, this could be a 3 or 4 goal game here.
Oh, here comes the bread guy. Don't you ever get sick of bread? How dare you? Come on. If you saved nearly $750 like this, imagine what we could splurge on. Oh, like sourdough. No, the good stuff, like blueberries. And strawberries? Exactly. Raspberries, blackberries, cranberries, elderberries. You don't need to name all the berries. Goji berries, halle berry. I'm just kidding. But I love her.
Switch to Progressive and you can save hundreds. Spend on whatever you dream on.
eBay Authenticity Guarantee is checked by experts. Every stitch, tag, and logo. So you'll always
finding your keys? Did you find in your face? Relax and recharge around the world with Marriott Bonvoy.
Live sports.
Three goals last week, including 2 last night. He scored 23 goals in 60 games this season. He's on pace for 31 and now will be tied.
Fourth most goals in a player's debut season in franchise history. You can see the pretty impressive company he is keeping. His next goal matched his career high set in 21-22 when he had 24 goals in 76 games played. A nice find indeed.
It's a pretty good list to be on.
So this showed Yegor Sharangovich is on a 31-goal pace. Seattle wins this draw, but they'll have to do it again. So Calgary will be thankful for that. So shots on goal, I have listed at 10. Right now it has 8 on the Sportsnet side, but still to nothing on the other side for Calgary. And they're down a goal. They haven't been able to win draws either. They will get this one. Mangiapane for Hanifin. Hanifin is all tied up. Backlund trying to join it. Matty Beniers! He gets denied. Leave on the right side post as he slams his stick in frustration. Here's a slap shot. That goes up and out of play. I hope Sportsnet shows that again. I am wearing the jersey here on this side. Matty Beniers got denied, and it might have been by the bar, as this was Tatar. Got this one. Eberle, yep, left side of the crossbar. Matty Beniers. The net was wide open for him, and he banked it near the top of the bar. And Calgary Flames can breathe a sigh of relief, as it will be dented near that middle left of the crossbar. 7:23 left to go in this first. Hanifin now will get this 8 goals this season for Matty, 24 last season. A lot of difference in his sophomore season. Hopefully in the third will be different. Marty Pospisil, Kadri, drop pass. Here's a slap shot. Big block. Turbo's hurt, as this one's near the right side. Picked up now for Weegar. He got stunned by that one to Turbo. This bounces away for Hanifin, and now Seattle may have the numbers. It's Kaori Yamamoto. Will take the dump in. As this will bounce away for Kuzmenko. And now near the right side boards, Kyler will funnel it toward Markstrom. He'll make another save as this one is put down the ice. This will be blown dead against the Flames with 6:40 left to go. Brandon Tanev, that was a heroic block, and he is hobbling in toward the dressing room. That was a complete cannon one-timer, and this went off as he was falling down like the back instep of his right leg. Tanev took a tough fall, and he got hit with the puck as he was facing backwards. It beat him on the right side of the leg. 9 points in 44 games, 35 last season for Tanev. Kadri, he'll make a pass. I'm not sure why, as this is picked up now for Eeli Tolvanen. And now hand grenaded across for Kadri. Kadri will get it back. Here's his pass across to the right side. Dot looking for a cut in front. And now Osterle will try to pinch up. He'll steal the puck. And near the left side, Dot. Near the left side red line. Here's a centering pass. Turnaround shot. And it was Peltier that had a couple opportunities. And Jacob Peltier, I think, now will officially get the first shot on goal. 6:08 left to go in the first. Yes, that's what I'm saying. As this is Borgen. He got picked off after the clearing attempt. Kadri tried to get in near the right side as Peltier was providing the screen. And then now the chance near the right side. Peltier gets his shot blocked the first time. In between 3 Kraken, they couldn't find the puck. And Peltier had a chance to fire it right on. And it was stopped by Philip Grubauer. So 13:51, they got their first shot. Did Calgary. Yegor Sharangovich now near the left side boards. He's trying to find Huberdeau. And this is Jaden Schwartz. Will get picked off. Seattle will take this clear, funnel it down the ice for Jacob Markstrom, put it off the end glass. Bjorkstrand will get this to his defense, but the pass goes too strong for Schwartz. And so he'll spin back in his own end. Got it near the left side dot. I'll drop it here. Schultz will get it now. Pick it up here for Oliver Bjorkstrand, former Columbus Blue Jacket, as Markstrom will get back into his goal crease. It'll be Drydenhunt. Now near the right side of the red one. I'll go ahead and fire it in. Walker Dewey off the half spin. It's Kevin Rooney. Kevin Rooney now for Noah Hanifin near the left side blue line. Try to put this back around the inboards one more time. Dewar with an outstretched stick. He'll collect the puck. He'll funnel it to the opposite side of the ice. All held up here a little bit are the Flames. And that was Dryden Hunt up with some body contact. And this will be a delayed penalty call against Seattle. I feel like that has to be a hold call against Bjorkstrand. That's what I saw here. Calgary's power play has not been very good this year, but Bjorkstrand's in the box. We'll see what they can do with 5:06 left.
What would you get with almost $750?
Easy. By a smartwatch like that guy.
Makes sense. Use that GPS for your forward sense of direction.
Excuse me? My grandfather was a homing pigeon. My internal compass is genetic.
Must have skipped a generation.
I'm a walking GPS.
Okay. Which way is north? Okay, that's up, not north.
I should get a watch. Switch to Progressive and you can save hundreds. Spend on whatever you dream of.
All the parts you need, the prices you want. Guaranteed to fit every time. So you can keep your ride or die alive.
New projects means new project managers. You need to hire.
I need a game.
Indeed, you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/hire and get started today.
When you have a history of greatness, you keep dreaming and go beyond what's possible. The new 2024 Ridgeline and Passport and College, part of our most rugged trail sport lineup yet. From Hunt, Live Sports. Presented by Bet365 is this Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 8 Mountain on Sportsnet, hockey's most connected sources. Be in the loop all this week and then all day Friday. Looking forward to it.
Bjorkstrand 2 minutes for a holding. Pretty obvious he's going to reach in. Now watch he reaches in with his left and his right. So the Flames get their first power play. And looks like you and Greg Millen and Ryan have a lovely day off Friday in Florida. I'll be working my butt off. Trade deadline in Toronto. So you and Greg are out here.
The Flames on the power play as Dryden Hunt got held by Bjorkstrand. Again, the Flames 30th out of 32 on the power play, 14.4%. So they've really got to make something going. Huberdeau with a flashy pass in the neutral zone. It's really for Sharangovich now as he gets pinned near the right side red line. Flames able to keep it in near the left dot. Peltier make the pass across. Here's a bomb of a shot. This will go off the outside of the cage in the deflection. Calgary able to keep this in now. Weegar near the right side as it's Sharangovich. Drop here for MacKenzie. MacKenzie now patient as he's in the high slot, still surveying. He'll get this one back, fake the slap shot. Now here's a pass across. There's Kuzmenko. Here for Weegar. Weegar now into the traffic. This one will get picked up by Kuzmenko. Touch pass. Here's a fake slapper for Kadri. And now just bouncing between his skates. Down to a minute on the power play. Kuzmenko near the right side dot. Here's a chance that gets deflected. And Kadri tries to go ahead and find it. Yanni Gourde will do the right thing. Slam this one down the ice as this bounces. Here for Jacob Markstrom. He'll calmly leave it in behind his cage. 3:50 left to go in the first. This is a very fast-moving first period. And this one is flipped. And off the end glass. It's Backlund now. Power play line numero dos. As it's Rasmus Anderson. High slot here for the captaincy. Backlund, Hanifin, crisscross. Backlund near the left dot. High slot, Hanifin. Pick it up here for Rasmus. This will bounce away from Coleman. Now near the right side dot. This is the Flames working behind the net now left side red line. Backlund. Give this a high slide here for Hanifin. Crisscross for Rasmus. Rasmus. Hanifin. Slap shot. This one will go all the way back in. Calgary's power play is going to expire. No shots on their power play. As Rasmus Anderson will start in his own end. Everybody else going to change. So one shot on goal for the Flames in totality. Nothing on their power play. Somebody loses an edge. As this is onside for Hunt. He'll dump this one in past Matty Beniers. It's Larson now. As he'll lose it. Brandon Tanev He hopped in the dressing room, but he's back out now after blocking a shot, pulling backwards. 2:40 left to go in this first. Beniers turns it over for Dewar. And now the Flames will just keep this in across the blue line side. Now they'll say it's off. 25-15 on the shot attempts. Seattle leads that, but just one shot on goal for the Flames.
Brought to you by Original 16, the official beer sponsor of the Calgary Flames.
And you're right, Rick. Flames did have a couple looks, but a couple great blocks. There's Tanev, no surprise getting in front of that one.
So Tanev, after just going to the dressing room, he immediately blocks the shot for Sharangovich, and the same thing for Alexiak. So these guys know what they're out there to do on the penalty kill. They'll block some shots. Again, the Flames lead it in this one, though, 14-8. Again, you can't imagine because Markstrom's already had to make about 3 or 4 10-bell saves. And Sharangovich near the left side. Now this is behind the cage. Try to drop this one across the right side, but Grubauer able to pick it up now as Huberdeau will lose it. He got double teamed, and behind the office of Phillip. Step in is Shillington, but this will take a friendly bounce. Rasmus Anderson got to get back on sports. We'll drop this calmly to his netminder. This bounces Markstrom's pass, but now it's Peltier. The circle near the right side dot in his own end, and the Flames in the all red try to get this the other way. Burakovsky being a pass, and this will go back for Shillington. Hanifin now. Feels like he's been out there for about 3 minutes. Kadri goes ahead and fires it in as Marty Pospisil now try to go ahead and provide some support. Jared McCann off the back skate. This will be a long flip. It's a race for the puck. Number 55's got it now. Wonder how much longer he's going to be with the Flames. Here's a blind pass for Hanifin. Oh, what a stop by Markstrom. He just point-blank robbed Schwartz. That should have absolutely went in the net. This could have easily been a 4-goal game already for Seattle, but Schwartz is going to be having his head up for a while. Bjorkstrand cross for Schwartz. The whole left side of the net is wide open as Markstrom is forced to slide to his right, and Schwartz gets denied. Jacob Markstrom again. This feels like the game from a few weeks ago against the New York Rangers. I know they lost a 2-goal game on that over an empty net pool because it was Will Cooley and Brodzinski, but this is as good as Jacob Markstrom has looked, as this is now bounced away from Shillington. Eberle sits up Dunn, and this is right in the catching glove for Markstrom. 11-2 shots on goal. Jacob Markstrom again, as we've said, this could easily be a 3 or 4 goal game. It absolutely should already be on that side, if not for Markstrom. And you kind of understand the yin and yang of the trade deadline situation and why the Flames would want to get rid of Markstrom and why they want to keep him, because he's still playing like a franchise-level goaltender, especially this year. One flip away from Tomas Tatar, as it's too far from Mangiapane. Down near the left side, it's Backlund. Tatar able to get this one for Eberle, and now the Flames need to be a little bit more clean in their own end, as it's Backlund. Flip this one down the ice. Mangiapane now will go ahead and finish his check there for Backlund. Beniers will be on the work near the left side of red line. This is put in behind the net. Blake Coleman gets taken down. He makes the play from his knees. Here's a backhanded pass. This will be corralled by the host of Seattle, Kraken. And now intercepted. Shillington in between his legs. Try to get a wrist shot off. You try to do too much there. Shillington near the right side boards. Off the half spin now. It's Mangiapane. He runs into nowhere. It's loose near the right side. Backman looking for a tip on a Grubauer situation where he was nowhere near the left post. And that missed. As this one is Tanev, who brushes it in deep. Shillington now will have it in his own end. Pick it up for Huberdeau. Touch pass Marty Pospisil. We've seen him layer these. This one gets blocked. Down to 10 seconds. Kadri from Marty now. Marty, that was a good back pass, but nobody was there. And now Yamamoto down to 4 seconds. And Seattle will take a 1-0 lead into the dressing room. That could have been a lot more if it wasn't for the play of Jacob Markstrom. They come back, and we'll call the second period. It's 1-0 Kraken.
Well, continues his strong play, and it's got to be just that mental toughness of Markstrom. You take a look at his last 10 games, outstanding, and that's considering there's trade rumors, and that's so difficult to keep out of your mind, but he's done a wonderful job and continues to shut up the noise. You take a look. I love this ring. just like Nick Kiprusoff, when Brendan Peters would emulate his idol Kiprusoff. This is for Jacob Markstrom now. Absolutely terrific. I love it. That's a great shot from our production crew.
All right, Ryan Anderson standing by, taking a Ryan Wesley standing by. We don't know if it's going to be Rasmus Anderson or Blake Coleman. That's Blake Coleman. There you go, Ryan. Take it away.
Thank you, Rick. Yes, here is Blake Coleman. And Blake, on a night when you want to follow up the performance after what happened against Pittsburgh, you want to come up to a much better start. It hasn't been there, just 2 shots. Why hasn't the group been able to generate more?
It's just lack of execution, I think. Plays that we made, we're just throwing pucks away, or Jeff hasn't been good enough. It's just all around terrible period.
I thought on your goaltender continues to keep you guys in the know. It's something we've said many times this year, but boy, even when it's not going, he's there.
Yeah, he's been a backbone for us. He's the reason we've come back in a lot of games, and he's given us a chance to do everything tonight.
What do you have to kind of generate here to get going? It's easy to say more shots, but what's it going to take?
We'll just settle in, make some plays. They're an aggressive team. We got to get pucks out of their pressure in the overrun. Some rebounds. We just have some poise. It's been just sloppy.
Appreciate the time. Thanks, Luke.
Yeah, thanks.
Hockey Central on the other side, coming up with David Amber, and then Eric Francis and Corey Sarge will join us later on in the intermission.
See, Homeboard Explorer lets you easily compare home insurance options so you can get what you need without overpaying.
Yeah, we spent a lot on this section.
No, yeah, really high-end stuff.
Sorry, that's our ghost.
Yeah, okay.
It's more annoying than anything.
Too bad there's mold behind the backsplash. Yep, there's mold.
Well then, let's see if we can save you some money with Progressive.
Guess how much I originally paid for this fireplace? $23. Materials and labor.
Just ignore it.
You got bamboozled.
Your record label is taking off, but so is your sound engineer. You need to hire.
Indeed.
Indeed, you do. Indeed Instant Match instantly delivers quality candidates matching your job description. At Metro, get a new iPhone 12 with 5G. Take amazing pictures and share instantly. We don't take yada yada in life like knockoff sneakers. Don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Join Metro and get a new iPhone 12 with 5G for only $99.99 with no contracts, no activation fees, and nada yada yada. Only at Metro.
New dirty drinks have arrived at Sonic. And if you're wondering why we named them that, let me explain. It's soda, the best ice in the world, plus a refreshing blend of coconut, sweet cream, and lime. When it's that delicious, you can call it whatever the heck you want. New dirty drinks now at Sonic.
So let's give you your first period reset for those that are joining in the Twitter space or the YouTube side. It's pretty simple. These shots on goal here are 11-2 in favor of Seattle. Hits are 10-7 for Seattle as well. Face-offs 10-8. Let me go ahead and just make sure that they're all in coercion here. So face-offs actually 10-8 for Calgary. Calgary has a 14-11 block shot advantage, but at the end of one, I'm left talking to myself and thinking this should be a 4-0 lead for Seattle. First, a chance from the point gets deflected. It goes off the defense, and Yanni Gourde is the one that's able to pick it up in the slot and finish it off. Then a massive slave near the right post as Markstrom slides to keep the game 1-0 and bounced off Backlund in that goal. 11:43. The first shot, Calgary didn't have a shot. 11:43 in the game. Beniers gets denied on the backhand as it goes off the post. Markstrom looks to be on top of his game as Eberle was in the right side of the crease. A tip from Schwartz. That gets stopped and saved twice more. The shots were 10-0. Seattle, by my count, was 7:39 in the first, but officially, again, 11-2. Bjorkstrand was called for a hold on Dryden Hunt. Calgary had a chance to open the door, but the power play couldn't even get a shot. They've struggled this year. They're 30th. Tanev blocks a shot from the point, falling down. He opts to the dressing room, and then on the kill, he blocks another one.
Yeah, Seattle way more desperate, right? And if it wasn't for
Markstrom, this game could be way out of control. Right now. I heard Kelly Rudy say about 7 or 8.
So Markstrom 8-2-0 in the last 10, about a .930 save percentage. Absolute robbery of Jaden Schwartz. Markstrom with ridiculous saves near the right side post. So he got Schwartz. He was able to get Bjorkstrand. The Beniers chance at the post was deflected off Eberle a couple times. I mean, he has been absolutely on top of his game. And if it wasn't for Markstrom at this point, this could easily be a 3 or 4 goal lead for Seattle. And that is where we are in this game. It's 1-0. Yanni Gourde from Tanev and Vince Dunn. Nothing for the Flames in that period. Again, Blake Coleman was the one being interviewed by Ryan Leslie. So it was an absolutely terrible period by us, and we've really got to get things going. Really isn't any other way to say it. So your scores on the out-of-town scoreboard. Again, good one for me on this side as the Bees able to get a gigantic victory over the Toronto Maple Leafs that one. At the Scotiabank Arena, Morgan Geekie, Pavel Zacha, Jake DeBrusk, Zacha again, John Tavares with the lone goal for the Leafs from Morgan Riley and Ilya Lyubushkin. So Lyubushkin is back. He gets a point. Joseph Wall gets his first start in a long time coming back from injury. Stops 23 of 27. And Jeremy Swayman, excellent in this one. 32 out of 33 as he absolutely shuts down the Leafs. Wow, that's a big scoreline too that we will get to. Yeah, we might as well do it now. Vegas Golden Knights, they've been dealing with some injury issues. Talk about Mark Stowe maybe on long-term IR. Well, the Columbus Blue Jackets able to go ahead and put up a 6 spot on Vegas and get the win. Adam Fantilli going to miss several weeks, but Columbus wins big. Goals for Justin Danforth, Alexander Nylander, Alexander Nylander, let me make sure he's the one that gets the hat trick. Second, third, and fourth goals of the year. Empty netter at 1849 by Yegor Chinikov. And Erica Branson, former Flame, joins in, while Bill, William Karlsson, and Mason Morelli get the goals for Vegas. There's Tarasov, 37 out of 40, and Aiden Hill, he got lit up in this one, 27 out of 32, as Columbus takes 2 points away from Vegas. So that's going to make everybody in the Pacific happy. The Blues get a shootout win over the Philadelphia Flyers, so they will get at least 1 point in the Metro. Scott Lawton opened the score from Ryan Paling and Travis Sanheim. Kevin Hayes is 11th in the second period from Kasperi Kapanen, nothing in the third, nothing in OT. And the game winner, Pavel Buchnevich, on the backhand. Samuel Ayerson takes the loss as he stops 24 of 25 with a .960 save percentage. With Jordan Binnington, 40 out of 41. Philadelphia was absolutely able to line the shots, but they couldn't really solve Binnington. As he had a masterful game as St. Louis takes 2 points. The Panthers and Rangers, this was a game that Alec Nama covered earlier. Will Cooley open the scoring in the first period from Trouba and Keandre Miller, his 11th. Sam Reinhart with back-to-back goals, 43 and 44. Just 3 minutes apart of the 10-minute marker to the 13-minute marker. From Alexander Barkov, Gustav Forsling, Carter Verhaeghe also picks up an assist. Ryan Lomberg and Anton Lundell also score. Chris Kreider gets the other goal for the Blue Shirts on the power play. Igor Shesterkin, 25 out of 28 in the loss. Sergei Bobrovsky, Big Bob, stops 26 out of 28. It's Florida now, 42, 16, and 4 on the season. The only other score that we have to talk about in progress is the Colorado Avalanche. Nathan McKinnon and Jonathan Drouin get the goals in the first period on the Blackhawks. Devin Tays, Kel McCarr, Ross Cole, and Sam Girard pick up assists. Justice Annunen, 20 out of 20 through one period. Wow. And Peter Mrazek, 19 of 21. Mrazek's been pretty good for Chicago this year, but that's going to be a tough task against the Avs. We're looking to go to 38, 20, and 5. That's your scoreboard watch. In the NHL today, there is only 6 games on the docket, and we're covering the late one between the Kraken and the Flames.
Live sports. Brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of no payments, no interest for 1 year.
Boy, 1-0 Kraken over the Flames after 20 minutes in the books as we welcome in Eric Francis and a bronze sun-kissed Corey Sarich back from yet another in-season vacation. Oh dear. How do you guys sleep at night? Anyhow, that is not the way anybody drew this thing up. If you're on the Calgary side of things, you were ticked at your start against Pittsburgh, and you knew that Ryan Huska today said, look, Pittsburgh is a pressure team. Seattle's kind of like that. This is good for us.
Yeah.
We've had our eyes open. They didn't respond.
So, the first shift of the game, one guy responded, and I thought, well, this is a nice way to start the day, and this is going to be the sort of message that's sent.
So here's the deal. They said this in the open right now. I'm watching the intermission conversation between the Flames and Kraken. I got the Sportsnet feed on here. And Ryan Leslie was saying, honestly, this is not anywhere near the start that the Calgary Flames won in this game. After that Marty Pospisil hit, you kind of think there would be a tone setter or a trend setter here. No, that was not the situation, as this has bounced a bunch of times towards Seattle because they've been able to put that pressure on Jacob Markstrom and the Flames, get a lot of shots on goal, and keep it tight. And if it wasn't for Markstrom, this would be more than a 1-0 game at the end of the first period. Seattle's got the edge. They could have definitely been up by 4 or 5 in the way that this game was going. I will hold on to my intermission content just in case Cooper Hopkins does join in this second period, so I'll leave that here for him. We'll have a lot to get to on this side, and if we don't get to all of it, I'll probably save it for the maybe Sunday side, but there is a ton to get to as far as the Calgary Flames and the Seattle Kraken, but I'll hold on it in particular right now. Let me look at the NBA scoreboard here right now and see if there's anything going on of note.
Hot takes brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home and no payments, no interest for 1 year as we look at Jacob Markstrom.
So both scoreboards in both leagues are pretty light today. Thunder and Lakers would be the late game, but a 10:45 tip-off Eastern. Grizzlies able to get the win over the Nets, 21-41 now, 24-37 over the Nets. Two teams probably aren't making the playoffs, both disappointing on both ends because you thought both of them probably would. Any other finals here? It looks like the Timberwolves are going to be able to hold on. 119-113. That scoreline's not final yet, but the Timberwolves up by enough with 1.5 in the fourth that I think we can call that one done, with the exception of free throws. So your leading scorers there, Anthony Simons, 34-14. That's a good performance from the young point guard. And the loss, 26 points for, make sure I get this name right, because I'm saying Dope Reef, the 27-year-old out of LSU, the rookie. He's kind of looking like Sagana Diop on that side as far as his profile picture, but 10 of 14, 5 of 6 from 3, 26 points. And that's your center knocking down those threes. That's today's NBA. Minnesota does hold on to win 119-114. That one goes final. 25 points for Rudy Gobert, 25, 16, and 3 blocks. Michael Conley, 19-7. Karl Anthony Towns had a quiet day today in 21 minutes. 14 points and 4 rebounds.
Well, it's stuck in their craw then, right? That's the first and foremost. And what impresses me is
the Bucks. This game has just gone final as well. The Bucks take a big win. They improved to 41-21. The Clippers fall to 39-21 with a 113-106 victory at Fiserv Forum. 28 points for Bobby Portis off the bench to go with a plus 14 and 16 rebounds for Crazy Eyes Bobby Portis. 41 points for Damian Lillard. How does this line sound? 12 of 22 shooting, 4-9 from deep, 13 of 13 from the line for 41 for Dame time. 29 points for James Harden, 9 of 16, 29 points for Paul George on 6 of 10 from 3 in the loss for the Clips.
The question is he's so mad from what he said on Friday that he's formally asked for a trade. Even if he has, doesn't mean the Flames have to trade him. It just puts pressure and there's all sorts of turmoil. We'll find out by March 8th. Until then, there'll be some sleepless nights for Flames fans.
We mentioned this on the Flames side. Again, I want to do this before we close here on their intermission content in the sense of Jacob Markstrom wasn't happy the way that the team handled the situations for the trade talks. Talking about maybe shopping him to New Jersey or putting him somewhere else. And he had mentioned he wasn't very happy with the team, and they just talked about on the Sportsnet side, he might be so mad where he went ahead and tried to request a trade here. We'll see what happens on Friday. Nobody knows yet, but it is possible that Jacob Markstrom is on the move. When you think about Craig Conroy, he's got to be able to sell high. His goaltender already 33 years of age. He does have several years left on his deal, so it would make sense to get him now rather than going with the other suitors, other people in the bid that would kind of go ahead and put you in a situation where you wouldn't get as much for Markstrom as you would if you waited until the off season. That's just something to think about on that side, and that could be what's on the table. Not to mention with Noah Hanifin, I'll just go out there and throw it now. There was some speculation, and this is interesting because of who they play on Thursday, that the Calgary Flames are going to be playing the Tampa Bay Lightning on Thursday. Well, that's where Noah Hanifin thinks that he wants to go. That's his preferred trade destination for Noah Hanifin. So essentially what that can do for the Bolts is that they have the top three, and I know Mikhail Sergachev isn't there right now, but he should be back by the time the playoffs start most likely. It would be Hedman, Sergachev, and Hanifin in the top three. So who would go back on the back end for the Bolts to Calgary? Would it be somebody like Nicholas Perbix, who's pretty good on the back end D side? Could it be some picks? What are the picks going to turn out to be? Because the Bolts are still either a playoff team or a borderline playoff team. So what would Calgary get if they were moving on from Noah Hanifin? It would have to be Perbix, maybe a prospect and a pick or something like that, at least coming the other way to me on that side, because Hanifin is one of those top defensemen. I understand he might not get the same type of point totals that some others would not get, especially if he wasn't in Calgary, but still. In the top three, potentially, if the move was made to Tampa, where you have Sergachev when he comes back on the playoffs, Hedman and Hanifin, that might give Tampa enough ammunition, alongside still having to figure out what to do with Steven Stamkos, to maybe make one more last kick at the can at this, because Nikita Kucherov, he's in the Hart running. Braden Point is still a really good player. There's a lot left to do for Tampa.
Love. It's what makes super.
No todos entrenan por una medalla. No todos buscan más músculo. Lo que sea que estés empezando, la meta eres tú.
They were on Saturday, while they weren't. It was a tough first period for the Flames, Kelly, but only down 1-0, a chance to bounce back with a better second. That's why it's important to trust your group. I don't think there's any.
Let's get into this second period. I got Cooper Hopkins with me. I'm getting back into the play-by-play here in a moment because the camera and everything else just cut. So right now, this is with Seattle, as they'll pick this up here for Tana. Braden Pascal will lose the puck near the right side turnaround shot. This one is blocked by the Flames, and Marty Pospisil now will pick this one up off the backhand. I know Cooper Hopkins is in here now. It's a good time to jump in, my friend. If you have not seen this game at all, it has been one-sided so far.
Well, thanks for having me in, John, and apologies. You know how sometimes life can be a little busier than I expected this evening, but you know what? I got to push things to the side when my lifelong team, the Flames, and my hometown team, the Kraken, are coming together, and I always love it when we come together to cover any or especially both of these teams. I'll let you get back to the play-by-play, and we'll get some thoughts on how this game's gone so far.
So Jared McCann will go ahead and pick this draw up here. Again, for Seattle, they're not very good on the draw, but in this game they have been. Andrei Kuzmenko, he gets his shot blocked. Wow, that upended somebody. Did that hit Dunn in the mouth? He is all shaken up here. Hopefully he'll be okay. He might be going to the dressing room.
Boy, it seems like it's been one per period. I know that Tanev had an injury scare in the first period, John, and then, of course, it looks like Dunn takes one off of his own stick up into the jaw area. He's gone right back to the room, I think.
Yeah, he got hit pretty good there on a Kuzmenko shot. And as Cooper said, wow, that was up right in the face from the Kuzmenko. But as Tanev was falling down and went off his instep, he came back on the Calgary Flames power play and blocked another shot. So just all business as usual. Here is a shot in off the face, off the slap shot, saved by Grubauer. And now this will be Schwartz. Schwartz will try to leave this one for Jimmy Alexiak off the rush. And now Markstrom will make a glove save. The shots on goal read 13-3.
Yeah, John, and I think that tells most of the story right there. I was able to pick up some details from the first period, and let's just say that your assessment was agreed upon. It's been a one-sided game, and it's been all Seattle so far.
Yeah, Jacob Markstrom. I know Matty Beniers got hit off the left side post, but Markstrom's been brilliant. This could have been a game that could have easily been 3 or 4-0 Seattle, and that's not hyperbolic at all. As this is picked up, Mangiapane will get this one right back near the left side red line. A little stutter step near the left side. As this is picked up, takes a cross check. It's loose out in front for Coleman, and now Jimmy Alexiak, former star, as it's Mangiapane somehow through the skates. Now Anderson will take the touch pass near the right side dot as it's Backlund. Here's a slapper. Grubauer able to hold this one all the way. And Calgary already has as many shots as they had in the first period.
Yeah, pretty wild that that is a fact, John. It's something that the Flames are simply just going to have to keep changing in terms of volume, right? I think at this point they're going to have to play themselves into form by getting the bucket net. That's what they've done over the past few seasons. They're going to have to tap into that again.
So we'll get another draw here, this time on the defensive variety for Yanni Gourde. He's got the only goal of the game so far. Again, for anyone just joining us or listening later, these are two very desperate teams that are on the edge of the wild card. Again, Cooper and I will have a lot to talk about in the second intermission, but we'll just say it right now. The Nashville Predators are really making life difficult for everybody in the West because they've won 8 games in a row.
Yeah, it's pretty wild that the Flames are on a 5-game winning streak and they're in a worse position in
Right.
terms of the standings than they were when that win streak started.
Yeah, it's not something that can really be explained, but yeah, they've lost 2 points, as Cooper mentioned on that side, really to no fault of their own. They've got to be able to keep pace. And these two teams, again, it's like a rung of a ladder. You take one down to pull one back up here, and that's what it's going to mean here today. As this is a long outstretched pass, Peltier, this will bounce off the inboards, and Philip Grubauer will hold. Again, for Grubauer, his numbers have been a lot better lately. He's a .898 save percentage, but over the last 5 or 6 games, he's about .935. He's turning into playoff Grubauer, and Seattle needs him badly.
Yeah, absolutely. He's back in business in a pretty big way, and that's going to cause real headaches for the Flames here as they're just trying to get going in this game, and we're already in the second.
So 18-13, they're showing Joey Decord in off the bench. And again, Joey Decord, if you were talking about where Seattle is in the standings, it'd be a lot worse if not for Joey, the former Coachella Valley Firebird. He's been excellent this year. There's Sharangovich now near the left side, just trying to get this one. It's knocked away for Osterley. Now with Eeli Tolvanen now. And Sharangovich now near the left side red line. Osterley will spin. It's Yanni Gourde back in behind the office. Recollected now near the right side post for Larson. And now Yanni Gourde will go ahead and pick it back up. There's a backhand off Dunn's skates. So again, after taking the puck, he's back out there firing it in. And now Larson. Larson now get this near the right side. This is too far for Noah Hanifin. It'll be picked up off the back end for Larson. Holds the blue line. Off his backhand now. Pass toward the net. Stopped by Markstrom. As this goes all the way down the ice, I don't think anybody expected Adam Larson to do that.
No, John, that was a pretty play right there. He almost, I was thinking kind of Kachuk there. He tries to go between the skates, does so successfully, but Markstrom, thankfully for Flames fans, is in the right spot, able to pad that one away, and the Flames do have to basically immediately clear it. I think Hanifin's skate took a piece of that shot as well. It might have gone far post otherwise.
So another good save there for Markstrom. Again, a minute 22 for all the shift out there right now for Ryan Huska's squad. It's the Huberdeau Peltier line. At this point, Peltier kind of moving up a little bit because Connor Zary is going to be missing the next few games. It's been iced again, so Hanifin's got to get back out there.
Yeah, and this is just some of it is beyond their control, some of it is in their control. And I'm referring to this, John, which we touch on sometimes. Just a bit of choppy play here. The Flames want to get into a flow, want to try to get some ozone time, but you can't do that when you keep icing it.
No, you can't. And again, this kind of feels like, with the exception of the couple shots that we had at the beginning of this second, it feels more like the first. And the Flames have not been able to find their footing in this game. And again, we can almost say that now through a period in the first 3 minutes. See what can happen. Can Sharangovich be a game breaker? He's on pace for 31 this year, but his shot goes up and out of play.
You know, though, I have to say, John, I like what I saw from Sharangovich there. And this is what we've talked about before with certain members of this Flames team is, you know what? Sharangovich, right there, 2 defenders in front of him, he decides to go for it. He was like, I'm going to take a shot from about 35 feet out and see what happens. And that's what you need to do when you're being outplayed.
Yeah, and it looked like he had a lot of net to shoot at near the right side, but he got a stick in the lane there off the back arriving Seattle defense. A little push there from Pospisil and Alexiak as Marty will go and take the draw against Matty. And Matty tries to win this one, but he can't. It's Kuzmenko now. And off the rush, he's kind of working his way up the forehand as they'll spin behind the net. Now a couple extra elite edges moves as it's too far for Shillington. Can't hold the blue line. It's a shame there because that was good work for Kuz. And now Pospisil will go ahead and find the entry near the left side wing off the drop. Too far for Kuzmenko. Pascal will turn and fire. This one goes up and out of play, but I could kind of see that second line for the Flames start to find something there for a second.
Okay, now this is what makes me smile, John. You and I have been doing this long enough that we're almost of the same mind, my friend. I really like the jump from that line, that shift right there. We're starting to see crisper passes, a little bit more confidence in the passing, better placement, teammate to teammate, finding open spots in the ice. They get a shot off. It doesn't get on net, but I like that they built right there.
Nazem Kadri against Yanni Gourde, and Yanni now will be pinned against the right side boards. Ty Cartier, good outstretched pass. There's opportunity for Turbo as they'll get this back behind the left side red line. Spin for Cartier. But this all the way around the embankment for Will Borgen fires it on. Here's another chance. This one will go wide. Kaleri Yamamoto will get hit against the boards as Tanev will circle around for the defense one more time. Borgen now. There will be a pass as this gets picked in deep there for Yamamoto. Now near the right side line as all sorts of Flames were near that right side red line. They got to get space back out here. That's going to allow the defense in Dumoulin to pick it back up. This is bounced in off with Pascal, who tries to go ahead and pick it up now. And now Kuzmenko in his own end. He's got Nazem Kadri on the right side if he wants it. Andre will just flip it in. Grubauer will hold it into his stomach, take no chances. We'll get an offensive zone draw. 15:44 left to go.
Yeah, it seems like Ryan Huska might have heard our advice there, John, where right now it seems the order of the day is just to put the puck on net. And that was done. That was done by Kuzmenko, basically from the blue line. He sort of saucer flipped one in, and Grubauer had to handle and freeze. So Flames just probably looking for a little of that offensive zone time. Let's see what they can do here.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And again, as we talked about over the last couple of years for Seattle, I mentioned out of the 32 teams, normally, and the face-off numbers, I bet they're a little bit better this year, but they're normally hovered around 28th. This is not a strength for Seattle on this side, and you have a lot of good face-off players. And I don't have Elias Lindholm now, but Kadri and all of that, he's very good in the circle. They can't win this one as Coleman got brushed into it, and now Rasmus Anderson has it in their own end. Rasmus now, he's going to skate this himself, and there the right side, he'll take a wrister, and this one will bounce to Mangiapane. Get this settled to D. Weegar now, this goes off his skates as Mangiapane will find his space near the right side circle. This will be a long flip, Seattle able to get it out. But Rasmus Anderson thought about doing it all himself there, and I kind of like that. As this is picked up across the flaming sea now, a little bit of a sauce pass ahead. This will take a good bounce for Mangiapane off the backhand in an obscure angle. Coleman will make a centering pass. It bounces off of Schwartz, and Grubauer will just pick it up and hold on again. So Calgary starting to get some sustained puck possession.
Yeah, they certainly are. I mean, it only took them about 23 and a half minutes there, John. But you know what? As the saying goes, better late than never. So this is good stuff, actually. After a first period and a first few minutes of this second, that looked pretty drab in terms of the sea of red. I think that what we're looking at here is a little bit more activity. It's all the basics, right? Moving the feet, trusting your teammates, trying to get to that ozone. It doesn't have to be pretty. You're just getting that puck to Grubauer.
No, you got to start right now. I agree with you completely as far as the Flames. Again, it's only a 1-goal deficit on this side for as much worse as it can be. Still got time to start, but you think by the time the third period hits, you got to be ready to go here. Huberdeau off the rush. Here's a chance, and it's a good stop. Grubauer goes for the blue paint, but nobody's home. And now Seattle able to get this one down the ice. It was the best chance for the Flames to score all game. Hanifin had the drive. This is a bad turnover now. Seattle has it. Larson, this will take a pinball bounce. Who's going to get to it first? The Flames off the backhand. This will go right to Adam Larson. Again, Sharangovich, 2 goals, 2 game winners, 4 shots against Saturday against the Penguins. I should say 2 goals and a game winner. On that side is Hanifin. We'll pick this one back up. Kevin Rooney, 4th line for Ryan Huska's squad. Osterley just watching in front of the net. Sharangovich back pass for Dewar. Walker Dewar will get this one across the red line, and Rooney now will chip it ahead across the glass as Tomas Tatar has to absorb a hit. Seattle will push this the other way. It is Alexiak with Beniers on the rush. It's an unusual combination, but Alexiak is pinched all the way in deep. Matty now will watch this one get lofted over him. Jacob Pelchier is going to need some reinforcements because Eberle picked up that back check, and Matty, nice move, is able to make this one. He was falling down, getting away across the neutral zone. Rooney now trying to find it. The loose puck is going to get picked up by Hunt and fired in. And now Jimmy Alexiak is responsible in his own end. It's Eberle. Beniers will join in off the rush. This will get fired in. Matty now will be near the left side. He knows he's going to get pinned against the boards. And that's going to allow Weegar to make a good outstretched pass. Kuzmenko off the rush. He wants to pass. And it's not going to get there. This takes a bouncing pickup here for the Flames. There's a slap shot. Somebody else hurt. I think it's Tanev again as he blocked it. My goodness, he is getting absolutely roughed up in this game, blocking shots. Now he gets hit hard against the boards. Now this is Rasmus Anderson. Here's a sauce pass, slapper, stop by Grubauer, but Tanev, he's going to need some ice bags. Now we get a fight. Cartier and Pospisil. Ty Cartier throwing bobs. My goodness.
Oh, baby, John, this game has just turned on. Somebody flipped that switch. I don't know if it was Cartier, Pospisil. Who knows what was going on behind the play? But my goodness, so much to talk about here. The Flames building their offense, starting to really drive their way into this game. Tanev, he gets flattened by Weegar, and before that, he blocked another shot that left him hobbling. Tons to talk about here. Boy, oh boy, John, all of a sudden, here we go.
Yeah, I am very shocked. Again, we got the chance to watch Ty Cartier a couple times last year. We always talked about we love the call-up. I didn't know he could throw fists like that. I didn't know Marty Pospisil would be the one to entertain it because that is kind of a heavyweight mismatch, but Ty Cartier got a couple good licks in.
Yeah, he did, and that's not going to be one for the record books necessarily. That one was started and ended pretty quickly by Cartier. I will say Pospisil, I'll give him a tip of the cap for being a smarter man there. I think Cartier's got probably 40 pounds and a couple inches on him. And Pospisil, I won't say he was fully turtling up, but he definitely wasn't out there swinging right and left hooks. Cartier must have taken offense to something. Maybe we'll get a replay on the Sportsnet side on my feed. But either way, here we go, my friend. The Flames and the Kraken don't necessarily have all that much of a heated rivalry. Maybe it's just that frustration of what they're facing this season and what they're fighting for in terms of playoff position.
I think that's well said by you. That's exactly what's in front of these teams right now, because if you look at it in the open, I know we'll have a lot to go through in our intermission conversation, but you have Seattle, 9 points from wildcard 2. You have Calgary, 7 points on the side of it on that side too. So as Cooper said, this is what you have in front of you for these two teams. Again, after this game is done, you have approximately 19, 20 games left to go in the season. This is the home stretch right now. And these 2 points, again, for these two teams in the Pacific, it's a 4-point swing today.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, obviously you and I are going to have more discussion about this as we have the opportunity to. But there are going to be some decisions on the table, and we're talking in the next 48, 72 plus hours for these teams and their management. The Greg Conroys of the world, the Ron Francis of the world. That look, there's a lot to love about both of these teams, but you can say, and I think you can say honestly, both the Kraken and Flames have been underperforming just a bit this year. Circumstances aside, they have to make calls about what the futures are going to look like for these rosters. And there's got to be some frustration there too, because things are changing.
Yeah, there is, and I would say this for Seattle, and I'm not trying to pick and choose because again, I like watching both of these teams, but for Seattle, really the main thing is the secondary goal scoring. Again, we talked about guys like losing Daniel Sprong or Carson Soucy or Ryan Donato. Those are not big losses for most teams on that side. You say, hey, those are bottom six forwards. That wouldn't matter so much, but I mean, hey, Cooper, I mean, in between Matty Beniers as well, I mean, you're losing. Yanni Gourde, some of the other things, maybe about 30 something goals more than you would have had last year. So that's really hard to replace. Again, if you're losing all that production, that's why you are where you are in the standings. So the Flames do get a power play, and they'll have it now. Weegar will send this one across. This goes up the outside cage. Kuzmenko will pick it up. Grubauer just getting back to his feet. 3 for 27 in the last 8 games for the Flames with 11%. As they're in the 30th out of 32. Kadri in tight, good save. Grubauer, they score! It bleeds in, and Calgary ties it.
My goodness, John, that is just individual effort. And boy, how happy are Flames fans to have Andrei Kuzmenko right now. I love that. Watching that happen in real time was fascinating. Kuzmenko sees a rebound behind the net. He's just to Grubauer's right. He's been posted up in front of the crease. He gets that loose puck. Grubauer is down and out, too committed to the near post. Kuzmenko goes behind the pads and skates instead of trying to backhand wrap around.
Wow.
Alexiak was waiting. John, that is a high IQ hockey
Yes.
play, and that ties the hockey game.
I love it, Cooper, and I'm glad you said it well because for Andrei Kuzmenko, for Rick Tocchet, that situation didn't work out well in Vancouver. I understand it's hard to lose Elias Lindholm, but you can kind of see there with the poise and patience where Andrei Kuzmenko, he's a goal scorer, and that's a goal scorer's goal to me. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all love a slapper, we love a snipe, but making that decision for himself, knowing that he had just enough room to get that thing snuck in over the goal line where he did, that was a pretty play right there.
So now the Flames have tied it. Again, the shot board was about 12-2 in that first period. Now it's 14-11. Andrei Kuzmenko with his 12th. On the power play for the Flames, that is gigantic. As Mangiapane gets up in it, it's Huberdeau and Kadri with the assists. And now a bouncing puck. Flames a little bit unlucky not to get to that one. Blake Coleman going to go ahead and take his change as Jaden Schwartz will fire it in. Again, 1-1 between two teams that are very desperate in the Pacific and needing some points. Remember, the wild card is the only door that's open to them right now. And there's not a lot of games left. And as Cooper said, the trade deadline's on Friday. And these two teams are going to look very different regardless of what awaits them in the standings because it just has to be that way for both of these squads. Ron Francis is going to be as busy as Craig Conroy as this goes down near the left side of the red line. And now Osterley will get this off his backhand. This gets intercepted. Yanni Gourde will funnel it in deep. Like Tolvanen now as he gets hit pretty good by Noah Hanifin. Sharangovich now trying to find it. Yanni will pick this one up now here for Vince Dunn, former Blue. We'll get this one across for Larson, turn and fire. And this one goes up into the netting and on a play.
Yeah, John, so listen, all of a sudden, which is a phrase I keep saying, but it's true. It seems like out of nowhere these things are happening for the Flames. And by these things, I mean shots on goal. It was like you said, 14-3. All of a sudden, it's now 14-12, and the Flames have really turned things around. Of course, goal is going to help you do that. But I love individual effort, and also, again, teammates finding teammates. We take it for granted the way these teams pass.
Right.
The passing has really improved, just as I've been on this broadcast with you.
Alexiak will get the draw. Here's a chance. Good stop. Markstrom and the Flames are there. They're able to break out. This is a 4-on-2. If they can try to find something out of this, here's a pass that goes for Kuzmenko, who just scored, and now Matty Beniers pick this up in his own end. Again, very defensively responsible. Tomas Tatar going to go offside. Blows a tire, falls down. So it's a neutral zone draw for both these teams.
Yeah, John, listen, I missed a little bit of the first. As, of course, we know, it sounds like Markstrom was really keeping the Flames in this thing and keeping it a reasonable scoreline. And now he's had a little bit less to do. So let's see if that kind of up and down for him it comes into effect. Because the Kraken are going to create some chances. Markstrom's got to stay sharp.
I agree with you on that. So that's something that we will be able to watch, and this will be ultimately important because Markstrom was pretty much beaten like a mule in that first period as far as high danger chances. I mean, he had ones toward the post. You got Jaden Schwartz Had a robbery there. Eberle on the doorstep. Matty Beniers hit a post. There was some tips from Dunn. He had everything, and now it's been a little bit quieted down as Calgary's pushed the play the other way. So I like that point by you.
Yeah, John, it looks like we're going to be a face-off here to Grubauer's right. The Flames, we saw that stat about their power play. Not very successful. Now they scored on the power play. I'd love to see them get one, obviously. That 5-on-5, that even strength play is going to be huge here.
Yeah, that's the thing that the Calgary Flames are pretty good at with the even strength play. Again, if they can start to mix in a few more of these power play goals, I think they have a good unit to do so. 2-on-2, Huberdeau's pass. We'll get it right back. Huberdeau a third time. How many times are you going to get the puck back? This is number 4, spinning down near the right side boards. It's Rasmus Anderson, speaking of 4. Setting up the slap shot. This goes off the embankment, picked up now for Kadri. As this is with the Flames, and now this is danced across the blue line. And now Eberle will have to get around the defense as he gets brushed aside and then hit a couple more times. It'll fall back to Rasmus Anderson as the check gets finished on one side. But this will be iced against the Flames. But Jonathan Huberdeau had 4 looks at it.
Oh, John. The mystery of number 10 in red. Jonathan Huberdeau. I love it. Look, I mean, I understand. He is a facilitator. He's so skilled. But he gets 3-4 looks at it. He goes, hey, you shoot. You shoot. No, bounce out. Okay, fine, I'll shoot. He finally begrudgingly takes a shot on net from a tight angle. Again, as we've always said, love to see him get aggressive, and I think that's called for here. But at least they're still tied. Wasn't a giveaway. Wasn't a huge error. Trying to find a teammate. Can't fault that too much. But Jonathan Huberdeau, he's going to be Jonathan Huberdeau.
9:10 left to go in the second. We've seen that a lot on that side. Hopefully get to another sequence there. He won't second guess himself at that point, especially when you get that many chances. 12 shots to 5 in that period right now with 8:55 left to go. The Flames have been on the front foot of this, and Hanifin sawing all the way. A little bit of a late stick there from Grubauer on Rooney. We'll see if that draws the crowd.
Yeah, this is turning into an interesting one. It really, really is. I mean, I'm so glad we're all so fortunate. And hey, here we are in the second, hitting the media timeout. And, you know, I just got a close-up there of the man who had the last shot on net, which was right into the breadbasket. Nice, easy save from distance by Grubauer on the slapper from hole number 55, Noah Hanifin. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Again, I've already mentioned it. You and I will probably have a longer discussion about some of the changes that may or may not be coming as the trade deadline is moving. But it does seem, with the buzz around Noah Hanifin, it seems like his time in Calgary may be short. And listen, I certainly miss Chris Tanev, whose brother is playing on the Kraken there at Saddledome tonight. But Noah Hanifin has really felt like a Flame to me. Tanev certainly did as well. That's a tough loss. He's such a gritty player. Noah Hanifin is really well-rounded. I just love a lot of his game. He has that offensive flair, but he's so responsible on the defensive end as well. I didn't need to make this media timeout all about Noah Hanifin, but just really as a fan as well. But I'm sure more neutral for you, John. What do you think? Noah Hanifin, even if he stays with the Flames, which seems to be unlikely, or whatever team gets him, I feel like he's going to be a real key piece. He's a big asset.
Yes, he is. And I think he's scoring more now for the Flames maybe than he would for somewhere else. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. And again, I didn't mean to dominate with a speech from my pulpit there, but I do agree. I think that he's felt that a little bit more compelled to step into the offensive side of his game, just because, look, the Flames, we're past the Gaudreau era. We're past the Kachuk era. You know, it's the Elias Lindholm that existed a couple years ago in Calgary, and well, now he's in Vancouver. That Elias Lindholm doesn't exist on the team, and those skills seem to have changed quite a bit. So they've got to pick up that extra scoring, and 55's done a lot of it for sure.
Yes, he has. And again, as we're getting back into it, what's going to be very interesting on Thursday is who does the Flames play? They play the Lightning. What did Noah Hanifin say was his preferred trade destination? Tampa Bay. And what would that look like? Because it would be Hedman, Sergachev come back from the playoffs, and Hanifin. But who would be the return to Calgary if that does happen? Because you got Nick Purvix on defense. You got some picks maybe, but it's going to need to sweeten the deal a little more for Tampa to get that done, because Noah Hanifin is one of the better defensemen who would solidify a top 6 for Tampa. They could have one last kick at the can. We'll certainly talk about that more. As Yanni Gourde now here on the left side. Here's a touch pass, and this will be picked up for Blake Coleman, speaking of former Tampa Bay Lightning man, as you always like to mention. Weegar now Nice stutter step, able to keep this one alive for the captaincy in Backlund. A good pass right for Rasmus Anderson, and what a save for Grubauer.
Man, John, lots going on here. First of all, we get a shot of some Kraken fans in the Saddle Dome crowd there, but boy, we have a 3-on-2 for the Kraken going one way. Then we come back into the Flames zone. A bit of a loose puck, kind of an errant pass off a skater. Anderson tries to pick that top corner. Grubauer flashes leather. Great save, maybe his best.
Yeah, and he's looked pretty good. He's looked in form here. Again, we saw that in the playoffs against the Colorado Avalanche in that epic 7-game series that we called. Grubauer 4-1-0 in last 5, 156, 942 save percentage. Playing like a franchise-level netminder. And speaking of franchise-level netminder, Jacob Markstrom hasn't had as much to do in this second period. Thankfully for him, it's a 1 goal apiece for both of these teams. As this is picked up here for Huberdeau. Osterley, I'll see this one fall back to him. Sharangovich tries to make a back pass, and now into the neutral zone, the Flames will get it. I think they're going to go offsides, however. 8 minutes left to go in the second.
Yeah, listen, this is just a general observation. There hasn't been a lot of unbroken play here. A little bit of whistle action going on. That's just the way things go sometimes. And for whatever reason, I always find it fascinating. It's one of those subtle things in a game of hockey that you can see who that kind of favors. Those stoppages, chance to get your breath. For other teams, it becomes a nuisance. It becomes a break in the flow. So I'm going to keep my eye on that as well. It looks like Huberdeau talking to Sharangovich there. They've had a good connection, but seems to be a little frustration on their faces, not with each other, but maybe just trying to get more out of their shifts. So we'll look at that as well.
Yeah, and you'd like to see Huberdeau as the sit-up guy and Sharangovich as the finisher. Maybe not as much defense between that third line, but they can definitely create a lot of offense. And I think that's going to be a good thing going forward for Ryan Huska's squad. And they will be here even after the deadline side of it, because you have MacKenzie, Weegar, you have Huberdeau, you have Nazem Kadri as well. They're part of the linchpins. As it's McCann, and near the left side. Pascal takes a couple hits. Again, Jared McCann, I haven't had a chance to call his name a lot, as he's got this in behind the net now, and a centering pass for Bjorkstrand. That's going to be a goal.
Absolutely is a goal, John. That was no doubt in that shot. Fired from just below the face-off dot, that far side face-off dot. That kind of unfolded in a way that was unexpected. It was back in the trapezoid, but Shillington was in a good spot to break that pass up. I think he got tied up trying to decide whether to take the puck carrier or the open man. And when you choose neither, John, that leaves both open. Not the most fleet of foot play by number 58, Oliver Shillington, right there, who's been great since he's come back. But Markstrom not really able to do much there. That shot was whistled in from very close. 2-1 Kraken.
Again, sorry for that, any Calgary Flames fans. Feels like a bad omen for me when I mentioned I didn't get to call McCann's name very much because he's a very prominent player. But Bjorkstrand, I mean, I think Cooper Hopkins or I could have scored that one. Nobody was picked up near the right side dot. Here's a pass as one of the Flames gets absolutely upended. And now picked up for the Flames. Rasmus Anderson wide open. Puck doesn't come to him. Now he'll get it. His cross pass in the high slot. Flames have it. All of a sudden, they're dangerous. Rasmus waiting for a lane. Here's a slapper. This one's blocked before whatever hit Grubauer. I wish they would have hit Rasmus Anderson about 5 seconds before that. I think he would have tied this game. MacKenzie Weegar now trying to make a play, but Yanni Gourde able to get the theft. And now this is bounced off the stick of Walker Dewar. He's on the edge of a shift. And now a good hit for Borgen as Seattle has this one. Well, we'll get this here for Brian Dumoulin. Dumoulin will put this around the embankment. And Nazem Kadri, I think, finishes his hit as it's Borgen dancing. And the high slot now, Schwartz is out there. Here's a wrister. This one will get blocked off of Burakovsky from Markstrom. Now near the left side, Nazem Kadri will spin. This is being in the left side red line. Flames trying to get this out of their own end as it's picked up by Dryden Hunt. 6:05 left to go in the second. Gets around a couple hits from Dumoulin and Schultz. Schultz will put this one back down with a backhand. Now Schultz and Yamamoto, they absorb a couple hits. Schultz now off sides. 5:57 in the second. Boy, oh boy, this game's gotten very physical. I think we're going to take a break here.
Yeah, I think we are going to take a break, and it's probably good. I think both these teams need to Just breathe, as do I. I was holding my breath right there, John. I stood up off the couch. I realized I was standing about 8 inches from the television screen because all of a sudden I'm even more compelled by what's going on in this thing, more so than I was prior to that second goal. A beautiful one by Bjorkstrand. But you know what we saw there was back-to-back bounce-back shifts. We saw the Flames come back right away, and they were buzzing more than they really have. And we always talk about trying to get that extended ozone time. They really did that pretty much for the first time in the game. They had almost a whole shift in the offensive zone there. Some good passing, a couple of shot attempts, blocks from kind of medium range, but they were looking sharp. That was coming off the goal. And then the next shift, the Kraken come back, and they started to get things going again here. So this is an evenly matched game against two teams that are obviously very motivated, but there's lots to play for. I think the frustration is showing. I know these teams feel like they should be in a better spot in the standings. Again, I come back to it. I feel like some of that emotion is showing through here.
Yeah, and again, as we mentioned, Cooper, with the secondary goal scoring, the lack there for the Seattle Kraken, which has played a large portion in their season. And for Calgary, it's been a little up and down. I remember when I was doing the game on the side with the Sharks, and you told me with the Red Wings and all the Flames, sell, sell, sell. And then they come out, they lose 3 in a row, they win 5 in a row. And Jacob Markstrom has some comments as well. He's happy with his play, and he's happy the way with his team handled everything, but the way that social media and the other reporters out there have talked about the trade deadline, I imagine that Jacob Markstrom just can't wait for Friday to pass.
Yeah, I think so. It's can't be easy when the focus is on you and there's constant chatter. I think you're just trying to do your job at a certain point and either A, enjoy time with your teammates, or B, not even think about it at all. That's just tough to do in the world that we exist in. But he's been great for the Calgary Flames. And again, this is like the Hanifin comment. No matter what happens, Markstrom has been such an important part of this Flames team. It'll be tough to see if he moves on, but he deserves to be respected, and hopefully he gets what he's looking for as well. As we had a bit of play right there. I stepped all over your play-by-play, which is my number one skill, John. And we do have a stoppage, and the face-off will come back. Speaking of Markstrom, I think just is left.
So again, it's just worth mentioning as well, Cooper. Next week is going to be very busy for me as well for the Calgary Flames, and I'm not just doing it because we love covering this team, but Tuesday and Thursday, that'll be after the deadline. The Flames will play the Avalanche and the Vegas Golden Knights. I will have both of those on the Thursday night side. So if you're able to join for either one of those, regardless of what happens, I mean, we could have a celebration for the Flames schedule. We can talk about some of the other moves that are made and going forward and have them still be in the playoff hunt, or maybe not after that because we get in the intermission. I'll let you know what the Flames have going forward. We got a lot to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I certainly hope to join for one or both of those. And look, there's going to be fun things to talk about no matter what. If the Flames do nothing, that in itself is a narrative. That's the story.
Yes, it is.
And if they do a ton, we'll be able to talk about that as well. And of course, there's the greatest chances will be something in between. You see one or two players perhaps, and then it's about the draft capital that comes back, and if there are any players that are going to be starting or in the AHL. That's what this season within the season is all about.
So they showed the up and down for Seattle in their last 13 games. I think some kind of mix of 11-0-2, something like that, when they score a certain amount of goals. They've been up and down a little bit. Calgary's been up and down a little bit. But I think more of the pressure here, and I'm going to be completely wrong about this, I bet, because in year 3, we understand that everything going forward for Seattle is good. For Ron Francis and all that going forward, Seattle has a really good team. They got a lot of picks, but I don't think anybody really expected Seattle to be in this position right now. Would you agree?
I do agree. Not just because we're pals. I think that's a smart assessment right there. And, the Kraken have been impressive. And, John, I'm going to take this play-by-play. There's a breakaway here, saved by Markstrom with the left pad. An unexpected breakaway. My goodness. We'll get back to these thoughts in a second. Let's keep the play-by-play rolling. Back to you, sir.
I got Matty Beniers' jersey on, and he had a breakaway, and he also hit a post. So he's been involved in this game. I know he's only got 9 on the season. He had about 26 last year. Jacob Markstrom makes a big save. 4:50 left to go on the second. Just to remind ourselves, we'll get back on the Seattle commentary in a second, as this is with Beniers. Now Shillington able to knock this one away. Seattle doing a great job in behind Markstrom's goal crease, just lurking and keeping this puck alive. Markstrom makes the save.
Boy, what were you saying a few minutes ago about Markstrom keeping the Flames
Right.
in this thing? I mean, yeah, if they'd gone the other way, and what a sauce pass right there up to Beniers, who really, only because of Machal, he had to go forehand. Machal comes in and kind of, Beniers was unable to go forehand, backhand, which it looked to me like he was wanting to do. Stumbling all over myself because that was such a life flash before your eyes moment for me, my friend. My goodness, I'm falling down right now. I got to pick myself back up on this broadcast.
Yeah, I know. This is even doubly for you because it's a hometown team. It's a childhood favorite team. I mean, there's a lot going on for you on this side. Michigan man, I see him hit the post and also get a chance in a breakaway. So I was on the edge of my seat as well. This has been a really good contest nonetheless between these two teams. It's been a much different story in the second period. Coleman passed a little bit too contested, and the members of the Kraken will flip this one down the ice for Schwartz. And Bjorkstrand will go ahead and get this. As this is flipped up for Calgary off the steal, we'll get this into the neutral zone now. As this is picked up for Blake Coleman. Coleman turn and spin. Got to make sure it doesn't bounce off of anybody trying to make a change. Philip Grubauer will slow it down in his own end. As they'll leave it there for Jaden Schwartz, he'll take the outstretched pass, and it'll go all the way back to Jacob Markstrom. As Markstrom now will look to get settled here for Osterley. Osterley off the long flip. Belchier. Good puck movement here for the Flames as they're trying to transition from zone to zone, but Seattle once again stealing it in their own end away from Kevin Rooney. As Vince Dunn, he flubs a pass. It's Jonathan Huberdeau. What's he going to do? As he's got this near the left side, trying to make a pass here for Osterley. I thought he could try to just wrap that around behind the net after the steal. It was a pretty good one. And now near the left side blue line, this will be flipped in. The icing will be waved off. 3:05 left to go in the second draw here alongside Cooper Hopkins. As we're joining in with this one with bated breath, it's been this type of game. It's been good on both sides. Jacob Markstrom will slow it down. And now Oliver Shillington try to break out behind his own end left to right. As too far for Nazem Kadri. This will be ice.
John, am I being unfair? I know you'll be honest with me. Am I being unfair? Look, the Flames are down right now 2-1 to the Kraken, which is probably the way this game should be. But here's Huberdeau, who takes a pass a turnover in his offensive end, and he's, 9-10 feet from Grubauer?
Yes.
And absolutely nothing comes of it. Look, I'm not a hockey player. I'm not seeing the same things he is on the ice, but I'd love to see more there, even if it is just a low percentage shot there. Just try to put the pressure back on the Seattle Kraken goaltender.
Yeah, Cooper, what I said to you was before with the 4 chances that he had, I'd like to see him do something different when he got the puck again. You get the steal, even if you wrap around and it turns out to be slow like Kuzmenko's, that went in the net. Give yourself a chance to score, especially off a steal, as this is offsides.
Yeah, and listen, first of all, apologize for taking away your opportunity to take up Matty Beniers' breakaway call play-by-play. So I certainly owe you one. But again, the choppy play kind of continues here. Some offsides, some icings. This faceoff is going to be in the neutral zone. The puck is dropped. Flames take it here. So, John, you go ahead with 2.5 to go here in the second.
Good steal for Kuzmenko, right in off the draw. You don't see that happen too much, as it's Pospisil. Kuzmenko got hit pretty good. It's down to the right side blue line. Let's take a big chop. It'll go to Kuz, as he'll make a good switch here for Kadri. Near the left side blue line. Flames doing a good job moving this around, but they're kept on the outside, and the pass is not sharp there. Jacob Markstrom will play this just away from the trapezoid line. It will be MacKenzie Weegar from the Florida Panther. There's a flip pass. Pospisil and Dewar will get this now near the right side. Walker Dewar takes a hit. He'll be moved around the inboards again near the right to left. Picked up for the Flames near the right circle. This is just kept in by Osterley, and now he pulls back for whatever reason. Did he just lose the puck? And now it's Huberdeau. We'll get this in his defensive end. Now for Osterley, and the Flames will have to start again. Here is a long flip. This will be dumped in for Yegor Sharangovich. He absorbs the hit. First to get to it. Now Osterley. Osterley will take a shot nowhere near the deflection portion that they wanted as it bounced off Schultz. Huberdeau now. Now he shoots this puck, and he gets hit with 90 seconds left to go in the period.
That's what I'm hoping for. He is on the the face-off dot. Boy, that is like on the bullseye of the face-off dot, basically. He fires what happens to be right into the logo of Grubauer's jersey. But you know what? There you go. He has the awareness to know that Sharangovich has a lane for a rebound.
Right.
But Huberdeau's going to put that puck on net, hoping for a bouncing puck. It doesn't happen. But that's what I like to see, John. Let's get aggressive, get the puck down low first, and see what happens.
Yeah, I think anytime you get the puck within the dots, or that close quarters situation, I like to talk in those NHL games, you really got like to let those ones go. I know that goes without saying. It's an obvious statement. But you got to make sure not to try to play too much ahead of yourself. If it's there, you take the space. If not, you move on. You live to fight another day. McCann will rush this one down. It goes too far for Bjorkstrand, but McCann does an excellent job. But almost against 3 Flames, try to find this puck as it bounces back behind the cage of Markstrom. It's very dangerous. Good outstretched stick as Schwartz will put this one dangerously through the blue paint. It's Vince Dunn. Now near the left side circle, here's a pass. A little bit too far for Bjorkstrand. Seattle will have to check back up in their own end. Stopped by Grubauer. Casually push this ahead as Adam Larson will let the rest of his forwards take a change for Dave Hakstol's squad. Right to left goes Seattle for the rest of this minute. Yanni Gourde, reverse hit. Only Tolvanen in as well. Good work for Rasmus Anderson as this is brushed away from Yanni Gourde. It's Nazem Kadri on a 2-on-3. Sweet move for Kadri as he'll get this one ahead. Kadri now near the left side after a bounce off Grubauer. Put this one in deep for Marty Pospisil. Pospisil back to his defense now. Lets a wrister go. This one will get blocked. It goes off of Alexiak. Flames now trying to find it with 15 seconds left to go in the second as it goes between Osterley's legs. Yanni Gourde now will watch as this is picked up. Here's a good outstretched stick for Kadri. Down to 5 seconds. Goes between his legs. Now shoots it. This one gets blocked, and that is going to end the second period. 2-1 Seattle as the lead.
Boy, it's not going to show up on the score sheet, John, but Nazem Kadri with that stick hand in there in the last 5 seconds. The last time he touched the puck, just pretty.
Yeah.
Making things look really good. Nothing came of it, and the clock runs out. We see that green light light up behind the net, and then the Flames and Kraken head back to the rooms with a 2-1 scoreline right now in favor of Seattle. But I like to see it. I like to see players using their skill, and that's what the Flames are going to need. They're going to need some of that heart that they showed to get the shot counter up to almost even after it was so out of whack. Definitely in favor of the Kraken when we started the second period. When we start the third, that stat will be a lot closer to 50-50, but still I would say overall the Kraken have had the run of play in this game. Would you say?
I say so, but I think at least Cooper on this side, this game is probably still about maybe 60-40 going into the third period. I think the Flames got a chance at this.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying this again. We're locked in, pal. You read my mind. I was going to say, it's not a 90-10 proposition here. It's not a total landslide. The Flames are just, barely hanging on to and lucky to have that 1-goal deficit, which I guess you could say to some degree with the way Markstrom has played. But, yeah, it's more of a 60-40 situation right here. And I think if the Flames can be opportunistic in the third, there have not been too many man advantage situations in this game. A couple of power plays for the Flames. I believe it's just the 2. They scored on 1. So if that continues, and they were to get another power play, it looks like they are certainly keen on capitalizing with the extra man tonight.
So again, I went through the scoreboard in the first period, so I'm not going to do that now. But since I have you here for this intermission and maybe like for 5 minutes after the post game, do you want to start with news of the day, or do you want to talk about what's ahead for the Calgary Flames?
You know what? Let's go. I saw some interesting scores today. I know that you've already touched on it, but I'm just going to say it once. We don't have to go through a whole game recap. But how about 6 goals for those Columbus Blue Jackets? That's not all that common these days. But of course, speaking and thinking of the Flames, Johnny Gaudreau's kind of faded a little bit, not into full obscurity. But when you choose to go to Columbus, Ohio, unfortunately, just because of the way the NHL is, not a lot of focus on that franchise. But he and his teammates today, they doubled up their opponent. That's a good win for Columbus.
And again, for the Golden Knights, they don't gain any points. They had 73 points in the standings. Don't look now. The Kings and the Predators at 72 right behind them. Vegas could find themselves in a wild card spot.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy to think that could be the situation. But, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. The Kings, after really hitting some bumps several weeks ago, a couple of months ago, really have found their way here. Even Philip Deneau gets a goal for them recently, and he had not scored at home. I don't think he had scored at home all year or something crazy like that. So good to see some changes for Los Angeles, and they're breathing down the neck of the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yes, they are. Is there any other scores that you wanted to hit?
No, not really. Not really. Just thought that was interesting. So thanks for humoring me for a second.
No problem.
Where should we take this, my friend?
I think we got news of the day, and then I will give you an update. We talked about Hanifin a little bit and maybe wanting to go to Tampa. I don't know if it's going to be Nick Perbix, another defenseman, or some picks. We'll figure out some of that stuff on Friday. Probably a couple extra prospects. I would think Gourde, Craig Conroy, if that's the case. Again, that's just speculation on our part. We'll be able to pick that one up next week. I do want to lead into the big one here today. You were really close on this compared to Alec and I, because Alec had this team in the Stanley Cup Finals. I had them more toward a top 10. You had them outside the top 10. Cooper Hopkins hit the bullseye, but this is going to shock both of us. Lindy Ruff gone for the New Jersey Devils. Now he's replaced by Travis Green, and all of a sudden the Devils find themselves 8 points out of a playoff spot in the East.
Yeah, and John, listen, look, even though I'm happy to feel the warmth of the spotlight for just a moment. Yes, I thought there would be some regression for the New Jersey Devils to the degree that they were going to be lucky to be in the playoffs. It looks like that luck is not going to visit them. It doesn't seem that that's in the cards. No. That's what happens now. As you mentioned, we're getting that final stretch of the season, last 25% of this NHL season or so. Lindy Ruff, he gets the hook. He's gone, and it is no longer leading that team. And it's not the responsibility of a single player. It never is. This is a team game. It's not the ultimate team game. But you have to look at the lack of production from a huge acquisition. You know where I'm going. It is the quiet, and that's putting it politely, quiet season for Timo Meier, John.
Timo Meier, Andre Plot's another one of those for me. Again, we loved that one a couple of years ago from Tampa on that side. He's been largely hurt. You have Jonas Siegenthaler regress, Dougie Hamilton get injured for the rest of the year, and Jack Hughes. Remember his quote, "People pay to watch me play." And he's going to be living that one for a little bit. And what I didn't like, and this isn't all on Jack Hughes, he's the one, the 21-year-old that has to answer all the questions in the locker room and say, this team can't find it right now, and they got to figure out whether they want it. When you have to get those quotes from a 21-year-old, that's not a good situation that New Jersey find themselves in right now. And for Tom Fitzgerald, their GM, he made a lot of moves. It was a good story last year. But, yeah, there is a lot left to do in New Jersey, it seems like.
Yeah, absolutely right. And, yes, Jack Hughes, I think you can chalk that up a little bit to the hubris of youth. I mean, you need to have players who are confident, who believe in their game. And, at the literal level, of course, people are buying tickets and in large part to see young, exciting players. And Jack Hughes is that. But, he's had a bit of a different season than I think he expected personally. The team certainly has as well. And the injuries, my goodness. It actually makes me think of a team in the NFL that's not too far from where the Devils are. It makes me think of the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers' injury situation, a team that was highly touted, expected to do great things. And boy, oh boy, did that flame out, no pun intended. And that's where the Devils sit now. Things have gotten a little ugly. It seems like there's going to need to be a reset. I'm not sure of what degree, right? I'm not sure if it's going to be some sort of major reset here, what pieces need to be moved. But yeah, when you're changing coaches this late in the game, something has gone wrong. And that is absolutely the case. I'm
going to do this really quickly and then give you a Red Wings thing, and then we'll go ahead for what's ahead for Calgary. Because Ruff is now the 7th coach to be fired this season in the NHL. He joins Todd McClellan, Lane Lambert, DJ Smith, Jay Woodcroft, Dean Edmondson, and Craig Berube. So the brunt of the blame is going to fall onto the head coaches. That is no surprise to either one of us.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And it's kind of crazy to think that's almost a quarter of all coaches. That's all just short of 25% of coaches who started leading the team, and now they're no longer leading that team. So it just shows you the level of expectation and competitiveness. And I mean, that's what happens when we're dealing with these kind of contracts and these expectations for fan bases and the high goals that have been set. that's the way it's going to roll, and especially when it's teams that really genuinely believe, both in the locker room and in the media, in the fan base, that that really wonderful things are right on the near horizon, and that horizon seems to stretch further and further away. Yeah, it can be a tough time, and Lindy Ruff now out as the coach of the Devils.
So I don't mean to always bring this into as a Red Wings thing, but we got some big news today, as noticed by head coach Derek Lalonde. Captaincy Dylan Larkin is going to at least miss the next 2 weeks for Detroit. This is big this week because the Red Wings have games against the Colorado Avalanche and the Vegas Golden Knights. They're coming off of back-to-back losses. But 4 of their next 6 games in between that are against Buffalo and Arizona. That might give you some interesting line combinations. Might move JT Compher to line numero uno on that side. And he's a guy that can definitely step up and do so. This is big for Detroit. I know everybody's kind of go ahead and already penciling them in. But if they drop a couple of those games, again, the Islanders are only 4 points back. So they're going to have to play without Dylan Larkin maybe for more than 2 weeks.
Yeah, and John, I don't want to. I know you've been working hard. You've been covering games of your own accord, and you've been covering your Sharks games. But I want to send it right back to you while we have this intermission break. So just tell me what you think that means. I mean, obviously, losing a captain for even a shift can really make it a difference in a game. But it's going to be multiple weeks now, and the Wings have been looking solid. Do you think this is something they can fully absorb, or is it just trying to hang on by the skin of their teeth? Like, what's the approach now that the team understands their captain's not going to be available for a while?
So here's the thing for me, and again, you and I have talked about this at length. What are the type of pieces that Steve Eisman brought in over the last couple of years? It was guys like JT Compher, Andrew Kopp. You have Michael Rasmussen, who's made some strides, who can fill in. Maybe even Robbie Fabry as well. You have depth for the Red Wings to be able to absorb. And again, you have depth, Cooper, down the middle. And I think that really helps. Also, with the emergence of Daniel Sprong, who you brought in, Christian Fischer, who is decent, I think there is enough for the Red Wings there. Am I fully expecting them to win on Wednesday against Colorado and in Vegas on Saturday? No, I'm not. But this does put a situation in where the 2 games against Buffalo and Arizona, those become must-wins to me. Again, in situations where, yes, New Jersey's fallen back, Pittsburgh's taken a step back, but Washington's close enough, and the Islanders are close enough as well, where Detroit can absorb it for a while. But if Larkin starts to miss maybe 3.5 weeks or more, I'm a little bit concerned because it's just hard to replace the Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, no question about it. I think that's a really succinct and smart way to sum it up. And I do like that you pointed out that depth down the middle, and that's what every team in the NHL wants, because that's where your playmaking starts. And no, you're not going to replace Larkin, but I like the Compher reference. I mean, you and I have covered many a game that he has been a part of. He can be a difference maker. Where what he maybe lacks in flash, I think, John, that's not necessarily what you're even looking for. I think you're looking for, some reliable, intelligent playmakers who can distribute the puck, and if necessary, and if given the opportunity, know how to finish. And I think that's JT Compher.
Again, I'm going to go ahead and talk about this a little bit. We'll talk about this a little bit in the post game as well. Here's what's upcoming for the Calgary Flames, not to mention the deadline on the Friday side. So this week, again, this isn't referencing the Seattle game because it's recovering right now. Thursday is Tampa. And then you have a Saturday, Sunday side of Florida and Carolina back to back. This is make or break right now for the Calgary Flames, isn't it, Cooper?
It really is. I mean, it's every single game. And John, how many times have we done this? Have we done this with the Flames where every game matters? I mean, it wasn't that long ago where they were clawing for a playoff spot, and every game felt like the most important game in the season. Well, surprise, surprise, it's because it was. Now we're doing that just a little bit earlier in the calendar, where a win or a loss doesn't just mean 2 points or 0 points, or if you get it to overtime, you get the one. Go down the list of possibilities, right? This is now the makeup of the roster on a knife's edge. It's very dramatic.
It is.
It's part of what makes it fascinating, and that's the truth of it. That's where we sit tonight with the Flames down 2-1. And so it's moment by moment, my friend.
So here's the deal. Again, because I referenced next week as well, but let's just go through it. Again, you got Seattle today. It's a 2-1 lead for Seattle. You got Tampa on Thursday. You got the deadline Friday. You got Florida Saturday, Carolina Sunday, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Cooper and I will be here at least with you, at least for one. I'll be here for both. On Tuesday, Thursday, you have Colorado and Vegas. So Tampa, Florida, Carolina, Colorado, Vegas, and the next 5 games in mixed with the deadline.
Yeah, and the irony is, and you'll see this on many Flames accounts on Twitter, et cetera, and just fans in general, there's this sort of increasing belief that the Flames actually rise to the occasion a little bit more when playing front-running teams that are actually up high in the standings, and they struggle more. I mean, let's look back at that Sharks game that they lost.
Yes.
You know, how badly would they like to have those 2 points right now? And they didn't just lose; they were really embarrassed in that game. And the Sharks and the Arizona Coyotes having their own race to see who can have a better season. Arizona's, unfortunately, their season has bottomed out, but that's a conversation for another day. However, I think there's some, if it's not just outright hope, there's maybe even some belief that among Flames fans that I think the stretch that you just described, John, doesn't necessarily mean doom and gloom. Now, that absolutely depends on who's on the team.
Yes.
Of course, they're already losing Tanev, all the shot blocking, the defensive responsibility. Let's say Hanifin's gone. I mean, if now we're looking at Dan Vladar as your number 1 starter instead of Markstrom, I think then, of course, all bets are off, and the indication would be that Conroy is looking to the future. But in the immediate future, I don't necessarily think it's hit the brakes, veer off the road, careen down a cliffside for Calgary. I think they have to win tonight. If they don't, because we're talking about this one period plus one more game before the deadline, every minute matters, every shift matters, and I know that Conroy is making choices probably even at this very moment as we speak about it.
Yeah, he's making choices for now, Cooper, and he's also making choices for the future, isn't he? He has to.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that's a tough responsibility, but that's why you get paid the big bucks, and he was in that assistant GM role for so long. You know, in Connie we trust, I would say.
Yeah.
And that takes us all the way back 20 years ago to what he did as a member of the team on the ice. You know, what he has done for this franchise it depends on how things go over his tenure, but it could be unparalleled. And part of his legacy is tied up to this as well, because the quote-unquote right or quote-unquote wrong choice, you know, choosing the right roster players. Do we want to forego roster players instead and look for, you know, those kind of stockpiling of late first, second, third round picks? Maybe it's a couple years down the road in other drafts. That's what he's weighing right now, and I don't envy the position. That's a tough one because there's still some great players on this team right now. They just happen to be chasing it, and they're running out of track here in this playoff run.
Again, I'll leave some of the other schedule stuff at the end of our post game on that side. But in the gauntlet that we've talked about for Calgary, here is what Nashville has in front of them in the next 3 games: Montreal, Buffalo, and the Columbus Blue Jackets. So they've already won 8 in a row. They could get to 11 wins in a row, and they can push themselves into a spot, I mean, not even in the Central on that side, but maybe close enough to where they could at least either threaten the Avalanche or maybe push the Vegas Golden Knights into a wild card spot. So schedules look a little bit different. And I know I don't have full time for this, but I did just reiterate in the free agency special that we did last year, our picks for the playoffs on this side. I'll put Cooper and my picks in there for the record because I do have some on the YouTube side. So in the East, Cooper had Pittsburgh going in. He had Tampa going out. And I had Ottawa going in, which was going to end up aging like spoiled milk, kind of like the Boston thing last year that we joke about, and Tampa going out. We agree with that. I think the Tampa pick was pretty good for both of us because they're teetering on a knife's edge. But in the West, I think I would give ourselves high scores. I'd give Cooper an A+ on this. Vancouver in, he nailed that one. He had Winnipeg out, which is only because some of the other moves that were made and this and that. I was kind of thinking the same thing. I had Nashville in. I think we nailed both of our ins, and I had LA out because of all the other moves that are made. They're trying to hold on to the wild card right now, but it's pretty interesting. We might have missed on some, but I think we hit on others.
Yeah, I think so. I think especially, hey, all those positives, we're thinking about who's going to have a positive experience. Well, we both got it right.
Yeah.
And boy, I'm taking it back to the East just momentarily. Talking about Conroy as an individual that I don't envy. That's a lot of pressure as the manager and leader of the Calgary Flames' future, immediate and distant. But man, oh man, the Pittsburgh Penguins, especially with that loss to the Flames just recently.
Yes.
And being up in that game, allowing the Flames to come back on Mika Kiprusoff's jersey retirement night. Oh, the Penguins! It's just I feel for that fan base. They've had such legendary runs, and it does seem to be coming apart at the seams here. And it may be the clock striking midnight for the Penguins as we know them, John.
Yeah, it might be. They had 3 games in hand on Detroit. They lost them all on that side. And now Friday, they might lose Jake Getzel. I know there were some Pittsburgh fans on the side, not the fans, but you think about Paul Bissonnette. He said his hope was Crosby goes to Colorado. I don't see that happening, but it is kind of crazy that he's as old as I am right now, 36, and he's playing some of his best hockey ever. But don't expect Crosby to be moved. We will get back into the play-by-play here with 19:40 left to go in the third. Here's a pass for Larson, and this goes off the post and in, right in front of the dot.
Oh, my goodness. That was an absolute beaut, John. Larson fires glove side, and he wired it to the top. The Seattle Kraken come out on the fresh sheet of ice here and really put the Flames on their heels. That's exactly what Seattle's wanting. Eberle was there in case there was any loose change to clean up. And Markstrom, boy, oh boy, he just threw the glove up and hoped, but that was not enough. Larson makes it 3-1.
I know you used to say this about Nikita Zadorov here, Cooper, but Adam Larson's doing that impression. This is the second time he's jumped up into the play today. The first was really dangerous, and now he snipes that in the top right corner.
Yeah, he's working with 99 accuracy in EA Sports right now. That was a perfect shot. That is a goal. About 20 seconds into the third period, there's that slow-mo replay. Bit of an unintentional screen right there from Hanifin, who may have been in Markstrom's line of sight. That's what it does appear to be. I don't know if it would have mattered. Hanifin looked a little disappointed with himself. He still does as we get the shot on the bench. Larson, the exact opposite. He's grinning ear to ear.
Yeah, I would be too with a shot like that, been able to jump out of the play. He's looked really good. Again, I saw some of the videos there on Larson. This might be the best he's ever played. I know he's been good with the Oilers on that side in the previous, but he's pretty at home here with Seattle. And now they got the puck again. They're already up by 2. This is probably what the scoreline should be, to be honest. Markstrom was so brilliant in the first period, able to just keep his team in the game. And now Calgary's still within earshot of this thing, but they got to answer first here now. Jonathan Huberdeau will take a slap shot. This will go off the left stick of Grubauer and flip back down the ice. As now this will be Burakovsky. They'll lose the puck. Again, just good to see him back out on the ice. He's had to deal with a lot of injury trouble here this year. And again, the Colorado Avalanche, man, they haven't got a chance to play too much for Seattle as this gets picked off. And now an opportunity for Jared McCann. He tried to lob it for Oliver Bjorkstrand, and now Hanifin will get this one. Here's a loose puck picked up one more time for Calgary, but not before Jaden Schwartz able to get the interception. This is pinballed away from McCann, and now Justin Schultz. Now near the right side boards. This is dangerous here. McCann, the first to get to it near the left side dot, fire a shot, and this one's stopped by Markstrom.
Yeah, so John, a pretty disastrous start to the third period for the Calgary Flames. You said it. I think just based on the way this game has gone, certainly in the first, which is almost all Kraken. Second, a little more balanced. You could even say, let's give that second period to the Flames. Boy, so far you're just a little bit into our final, what would be our final period regulation. Kraken seeming to grab a hold of this thing again. Flames have to really dig down deep in the bag here, find some way to get play in their favor. Haven't been able to really do so for an extended period tonight.
No, they haven't, Cooper. And honestly, Seattle has looked like the more desperate team on the forefront here on the road. Again, if they do win, they would pull themselves even with Calgary, but they could still be about 7 to 9 points out. So it's not even a given that Seattle makes the postseason, let alone Calgary. There are been people that have already talked and saying the teams that are in both wild cards, this is already all locked up, and everybody just wants to see a ton of trades. But it is going to be an interesting about 19, 20 game scramble left to go at the end of the year. And then you got the trade deadline on Friday. And you think both of these teams might be busier to a degree, but they're both going to be busy on this side. So Seattle taking an abbreviated timeout on their own end. Take a long flip. This is not iced. It'll be Shillington now with the backhand. We'll get this near the left side of the dot. Lumber gets taken out of the hand of Matty Beniers. We'll pick up a stick. Shillington falls down, makes the pass. Now, good steal here for Matty. Try to get around Mangiapane. Mangiapane takes it right back. Coleman now, a little bit too quick on the pass, and Beniers able to get this right through neutral. Make the smart play up by 2 goals. That's what I like. As Coleman flips this one in here for Backlund. Now Alexiak all tied up. And we get a whistle here with 17 minutes in the third.
John, just taking a look here. We're getting a long camera shot on Coleman. Is Coleman going to be going for a booking? We do have a penalty here, and the call is coming through now. We get the replay on the Sportsnet side. There's a collision at center ice between Beniers and one of the Flames could get a number there. Apologies. Is Coleman going to get a high stick or a cross check here? Either way, I think 20 in red.
Cross check. Cross check on Blake Coleman against Borgen, it looks like.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they specified it down to roughing, but yeah, he did basically grab both sides of the stick there and goes for the roughing up high on Borgen. So it's a 2-minute power play. This is the last thing the Flames needed. Kraken with that man advantage.
So now near the left side dot, this is Borgen. Here's a fake slap for Burakovsky. Man, he really should have let that one go. As this goes back around the inboards now, again, just want to see him get his feet underneath him and get more confident shooting the puck because you know he can absolutely snipe. He did a lot for Colorado. Had over 20 goals before. As now it's Backlund. Have this now. There's a drop pass. MacKenzie Weegar. This will go off the left pad of Philip Grubauer. Grubauer, honestly, he's been good in this game, but I feel like he should be tested more. We'll see what happens here if Calgary can kill this. They got the 5th highest ranked penalty kill in the league out of 32 teams. As this is put in around the inboards here for Jordan Eberle. And off the backhand now, Yegor Sharangovich. As this is near the left side red line, this will be flipped ahead. And now Calgary able to find this one for Backlund. Got to get back on side here. And they'll say that it is on side. It was pretty close. Noah Hanifin have this back into his own end. This will work kind of as a clear. And this will be flipped all the way down. Markstrom with a pass. Pick it up for Noah Hanifin. Here's an opportunity, but they fumble on a flop pass here for Yamamoto. As he picks it off, they try to sauce it out of the air. Tolvanen now had Markstrom leaning the wrong way. This is picked up now for Jared McCann as he's got it near the right side dot. Slow up and survey. Here's a cross pass, and we get an inadvertent whistle. That's probably going to be a break for the Flames.
Yeah, definitely. And we are getting, I believe, another set of players to the box here, John. Looks like Beniers and going back and forth, slashing and cross-checking with, is that?
Paschal.
Paschal, yes. Thank you very much, John. Just trying to, I'm missing, of course, my own team here. I'm missing the numbers on the Flames. But, yeah, Paschal's going to go with Beniers. Yeah, they're just trying to control this game, the Zebras are. A little bit of chippiness down at the blue paint. But the Kraken still really holding the run of play here, and the Flames just trying to kill this penalty.
Man, Noah Hanifin had a chance there. If he could have flipped that one over, the Flames had a semi-shorthanded break the other way. They've scored a ton of shorthanded goals this year. They're in the double-digit territory. So as it stands right now, Seattle 30 seconds to go on their power play. It's Backlund. Pretty good skate through a couple defense. He gets around Dunn. He gets the fire shot on. And now Seattle will push this the other way, but it's 3-on-2. Calgary sent it all the way down the ice as Grubauer goes in and stops with the stick. So power play this season against the Flames, 1 for 7. Going to make it 1 for 8 by the time they enter the zone here, most likely. As another stick gets chopped out of the hands. And now Yamamoto. He'll lose the puck across the boards, make it 1 for 8 officially. As Seattle still has a 2-goal lead. Nazem Kadri, he's had his skating shoes on over the last couple games. That goal against Pittsburgh was astronomically good. As it's Kadri now, what a drop pass. Trying to keep this one in. And near the left side boards, as Seattle will pick this one up. Yanni Gourde will get this ahead. And Seattle has it. Gourde in off the trail. There for Tomas Tatar. Tatar off the half spin. Set up the slapper. Traffic all in front of Jacob Markstrom, but he saved it somehow. Coleman used the embankment. This is stolen near the left side red line. Nazem Kadri. He lets the wrister go, and this is solved by the right pad of Grubauer right off the rush. Seattle will get the steal now. As this is recollected for former Penguin Brian Dumoulin. Sends this one in for Yanni Gourde to open the scoring. Seattle up by a pair. It's 3-1 with 14:05 left to go in the third. Yegor Sharangovich, former Dunn, flipped this one down the ice. Jacob Peltier wins the hybrid icing. He's going to need some reinforcements. Good work for Calgary to get back down there. Going to have to absorb a couple hits. Marty Pospisil trying to join in on the fun near the left side of the red line as he has to absorb a couple cross checks. Pospisil still trying to dig the puck out with Jacob Peltier as this is spun around the left side. And now Schwartz will send this one back for Will Borgen. Shots on goal read 23 apiece. They were 11-2 Seattle after one. As this is now flipped in. Bounced away from Noah Hanifin. They'll play this here for MacKenzie, Weegar, and go crisscross. Flames want to go right to left in their own end as the pass eludes the referee, but not too far for Mangiapane, number 88. Blake Coleman now joining in near the left side red line as he has to absorb a hit. Away from Schultz. Yamamoto out there as well. As Seattle try to push the other way. Good stick check and lift from Mikael Backlund. That's why he wears the captaincy. He never gave up on the play. He's got it now. Finds the entry, makes a drop pass into an open area. Hanifin now puts it around the embankment looking for Mangiapane. Coleman intercepts. Picked up for Hanifin. Good quick passing here near the right side. Dot tip deflection. This one goes high. Goes back near the left side. Dot now as Hanifin absolutely wipes out one of the Seattle Kraken. And they'll settle down for MacKenzie, Weegar. Blake Coleman trying to get around 4 Kraken. He'll just pin his man near the right side of the dot. And Calgary might still get this thing as Oliver Bjorkstrand has it in behind. Nazem Kadri now doing some yeoman's work. We need to get the rest of these guys back on the line. Here's Rasmus Andersson. Oh, it goes off the post from a setup from a 1-T. That was gorgeous. As it's Rasmus now. Picked up off the crisscross. He's got it in the high slot. Here's a chance for the Flames. Scores!
John Ott. Kuzmenko does it again. He's got 2. He's got 12 minutes and 14 seconds to get the Hattie. You know he wants it. He's feeling it. And boy, I have to believe he was feeling the heartbeats of his teammates, Mikael Backlund and Raz Anderson, the latter of which who almost scored prior to Kuzmenko, and Backlund doing the hard work. I think you called it the yeoman's work, and that is what built to this goal. The Flames pulling something out of almost nothing, and there is a beautiful snapped wrist right there, a few feet from the top of the circle, lasered above the left pad, below the glove, and it is 3-2. Flames with some life, my friend.
Hey, you got Yegor Sharangovich. I know Connor Zeri's not playing in this game, and you also have Andrei Kuzmenko. You got to like all 3 of those, Cooper Hopkins, and Kuz already has a pair. Huberdeau tries to lift near the right side post and off the rush. It's assisted by Anderson and Kadri. And now Seattle. Here's the answer shift, maybe. They try to push the other way. Cooper mentioned this a couple times. Now here come the burners. Peltier, Huberdeau, near the left side cross pass bounced out of the air. And now the Flames say this was played with either a high stick or something. We're going to get it blown dead.
Yeah, we've got Zebras talking right now, John. 3-2 Kraken. Flames now unbelievably leading in the shot clock. 11:51 in the third. All referees coming together to discuss. At first, I thought the Flames were claiming that puck was in. Boy, this is shades of that Pittsburgh game that we were talking about. Obviously, the Flames got that lead late. With the Flames talking about that puck being in, I don't think they thought it was in, but Dunn has played this with maybe a glove. What's our call here?
Seattle's got a 2-minute minor penalty, so the Flames are going to go back to the power play. It looks like Vince Dunn is going to go to the box.
Yes, I think you're right. Thanks for picking me up right there. I was just trying to go through the analysis. Yeah, Dunn takes that left gloved hand, swats a bouncing puck that was above Grubauer's head. Boy, Grubauer was down on his rear end in the blue paint. Flames would have been right there. In fact, they were right there on the doorstep. Maybe could have baseballed that thing in, but I don't know, John. I think maybe that if you're the Kraken coaching staff, maybe you say that's a savvy move. Maybe that's a positive play by Dunn to get that thing out of there after having just been scored upon. You know what? He takes the 2 minutes instead of giving the Flames a chance to bat in a bouncing puck. What say you?
I say so because it's about 15 seconds away from back-to-back goals right in off the rush. If Dunn doesn't make that glove hand play, that could be tapped in, and we could be talking about a tie game there. But Flames go to the power play again, and Cooper, they scored on the last one that they had on that side. So let's see if they can do it again. All of a sudden, they got momentum. I think they're going to get another goal here. I think this one might go to OT.
Wow, John, hey, I'm going to let you have that prediction. We were talking about our predictions being pretty dang good this year. I certainly hope that trend continues. I'm going to let my bias fly right now because, hey, listen, I'm proud to be from Seattle. I do always root for the Kraken, except on nights like these, buddy, when they're playing the Calgary Flames. And look, at least we're getting something interesting here. I think initially I was feeling like after that early third period tally for Seattle to make it 3-1, you're on the doorstep of things maybe getting out of hand because 4-1, that's an ugly situation. But Flames turned it around. I wasn't sure where they were going to find it, but they found it. And that proverbial it is the drive to win. They found it. They are true competitors. These guys are scrappy. They're not the most celebrated team in the league. Even when they're having their best seasons, that's not the case. But we're going for puck over glass, John. It wasn't just that the puck was played with the glove hand up high. I think he batted that thing up into the stands. So we get the stickless puck over the glass penalty, and the Flames now have possession after the faceoff win. I'll let you take it over.
We can mark that as another John on Cooper Hopkins broadcast to get things that we don't normally see. Huberdeau. What a diving keep in. Huberdeau open cross pass. Oh, it goes wide to the left side post. We were just going to tie the game. Weegar now has it here for Huberdeau. He lets it go. Grubauer down and out near the left side again. How did that not go in? And Seattle puts it down the ice. My goodness. Weegar.
Yeah, John.
Go ahead.
That's incredible. Play is going to continue here, but that's one of those moments where you want Huberdeau to make the pass. That is such an incredible piece of work by Jonathan Huberdeau with that vision. And that should be 3-3, but the Flames still have about 110 on this man advantage.
Weegar now in the high slot as he gets it here for Huberdeau. Huberdeau, here's a touch. This goes off of Grubauer's right pad and sent down the ice. This Flames power play might look better than it's ever looked all year. And not just because they scored a goal, but they're starting to get consistent pressure on Seattle. That's not really something they've been able to do all year whenever they've been on the power play. Their penalty kill has been fantastic, however. But you got to be able to get both sides working. Here's Rasmus Andersson. Now near the left circle, Mikael Backlund slows it down, gives it here for Rasmus, just keeps it in. Now under the left dot, it's Backlund. Give and go for Rasmus, still surveying, now for Backlund. Near the left circle, shot high, that was blocked, picked up for Backlund near the left dot. Flames still trying to work this puck around. Hanifin lets it go. Bouncing puck does not cross the line, and the whistle is blown.
Oh, my goodness, my friend. Mangiapane looks skyward as does Swedish defenseman Rasmus Andersson, their top blue liner. My word, it really, by all means, should be 3-3 right now. But the Flames everywhere around it, everywhere but in the back of the net on this power play. And I have to wonder, after coming so close, that puck last play bounced off the inside of the post. If they're not able to score here or soon, does the wind start to leave the balloon a little bit? I think that the fans and the team expecting to get a goal a couple of times with now less than 10 seconds in this power play. There's another shot attempt that's drilled aside by Grubauer. I'll let you jump back into it. A close range shot by Coleman. John, there's too much going on. Take it over, my friend.
Coleman now near the left side, down after a couple chances. Backlund back out there, makes the play. Try to find Coleman. Here's a centering pass, and Grubauer's got it somehow. This has turned into a hell of a hockey game.
Well, of course, I would give you back the play-by-play the moment before a stoppage. How selfish of me. I can't get out of my own way or yours. But, wow, there's been tons and tons of action all over Grubauer right now. Boy, a bit of bad puck luck right here. We're getting this replay again. The puck bounced off of the post 1.5 inches the other way, and it's post and in, but the penalty has expired, so Dunn comes back. We're back to even strength. This is what I was trying to allude to a moment ago as we've hit immediate timeout here, John. Do you think that some of the air might come out of the balloon when you're that close that often in such a short stretch of a period? Do you maybe lose a little bit of what you thought you were about to get? I don't know. That's just speculation. Maybe the Flames will remain inspired. I certainly hope so.
Cooper, normally I would take this the other way and agree with you, but I'm gonna step on the gas here. I still think the Flames find a way to tie this to get to OT. I can't give a full prediction yet because again, this game is still on the line, but they're playing too well. They've gotten too close. If they continue to go ahead and fire these shots in on Grubauer, they're going to tie this and take it to OT.
Yeah, you know what? Oh boy, again, your mouth to the hockey gods' ears, and it's such a unique aspect of the game of hockey that, look, it doesn't really happen in football in the same kind of way, not in basketball, maybe in baseball a little bit, but you can see the runners on the bases, you can feel scoring start to build. In hockey, it's just that sort of unspoken momentum that is building, and the Flames have really grasped it. They really have it in their hands, and like I said, they have gotten that puck everywhere they've wanted to, except over the goal line over the past 3-4 minutes or so. But man, they have turned this game on its head. And I'll believe you, pal. I'm going to just take you at your word. I hope that the Flames will push forward and tie this game because, boy, after the way both these teams have played, and credit to Seattle, especially earlier in the contest, this game is screaming for overtime.
And you saw the graphic that just went on the Sportsnet side of it, correct? I mean, it's been all over the place for the Flames too, up and down.
Yeah, it certainly has, but they have thrived in these situations. And boy, Kuzmenko, of all of the Flames, he seems really hungry for more. Let's keep an eye on 96 in red.
Yeah, he's already got 6 shots in this game and 2 goals. He's been excellent here. Again, I think it's one thing that goes without saying here for Cooper and I. First period was absolutely dreadful, and yet somehow the Flames were able to find it here and really push ahead. And now a stick up high, and I think that has to be called against Kuzmenko that got hit in the face.
Yeah, he looks like he's in some real discomfort. I'm not sure if he just got tied up there. He was sort of pirouetting almost from the blue line down to the crease in the Flames offensive zone. I'm looking at, oh yes, he gets drilled right in the mouth by Alexiak's stick. And Alexiak, a tall man, he's got that long stick. The blade comes right up into the jaw. And yeah, a lot of discomfort for Kuz. I'm not sure if blood was drawn, but boy, it's a good thing that he had that mouth guard in. It looks like he got clipped pretty good.
Yes, he did on that side. Jamie Alexiak is a big boy on that side. So the Flames get another opportunity here. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm feeling frisky here. Kuzmenko hat upcoming. 9:27 left to go in the third. When you get hit in the face like that, you really want to go ahead and get another goal. Let's see what we got. MacKenzie, Weegar. Now Huberdeau. Extra pass. Left side. Good save. Grubauer. A couple times. And now Huberdeau.
The Flames are feeling themselves, John. My goodness. Keep it going. Here it is. The Flames out there. 1:40 to go in the power play. There's a stoppage. I couldn't stop myself from jumping in there. I thought that was going to be the tying goal. It was Kuzmenko on the doorstep. He goes backhand, forehand, John. My word, your prediction was so close.
Hey, if you want to take the rest of this third, I don't mind it at all. Either way, I'm just happy to have you with it. But, man, Kuzmenko, 2 chances at it, if not for Grubauer.
No, you keep going. Good things have been happening with you on the mic. I need to just keep my mouth shut and apparently hold my breath here because this has turned into a really exciting game. Heck, it's a Monday night. We're having some fun. It's a good one.
Yes, we are. I'm glad you're with me here on this one. Again, I know this was going to be interesting for you either way between both of these teams, but we always seem to have fantastic casts, and I love it. That's Huberdeau now. Good touch pass. Here's a shot to the traffic. Huberdeau again! This one goes wide. Grubauer out of his goal crease. Huberdeau gets it back too far for Weegar. Man, oh man, how many chances are the Flames going to get? They'll start this again. Have this now across the blue line side. My voice register has had to hit high all the way across because this game has been spectacular. Kadri now. Looks like a neutral zone trap. Coleman loses his lettuce. He loses his lid. I have to go all the way back now and start again. So it was pretty clear what Seattle wanted to do on that penalty kill. They had all 4 guys in the blue line. They're doing that again. They're backing up. So the Calgary Flames are going to be able to dump this one in. Backlund now. Mangiapane. Looks like they're conceding a little too much right now, Seattle, as it's Mangiapane near the left side. Here's a chance short side. Mangiapane whistles it off the end glass. Now near the right side, Doc. Good sauce pass for Rasmus in the high slot. Here's a stick in the lane, and now this will be Seattle. They'll get a chance now to be able to kill some time. McCann will take a big-time whistler. This gets blocked in front. Jared McCann. And this one gets knocked away from Hanifin and Markstrom. What is happening? Backlund now off the entry. Mangiapane. Rasmus Anderson. He falls down. McCann short-handed breakaway. Scores!
Disbelief. The Flames had done so much, and they just could not beat Grubauer. So many scoring opportunities, beautiful setups, different types of scoring, bouncing pucks, perfect passes, you name it. Man advantage, even strength. Over the past 5 minutes of this period, it's been all Calgary, and one pass bounce at the blue line means Rasmus Anderson has himself beaten. And with 4 seconds left in this power play, my gosh, yeah, Rasmus couldn't keep it in at the blue line. And going the other way is McCann. And man, he makes no mistake. Here come the Flames the other way. They're Weegar with the shot now. That feels unfortunately like, I hope I didn't speak it into existence. The air may have come out of the balloon here as the Kraken reopen a 2-goal lead. Now they're coming the other way. Puck is right in front. Markstrom can't find it. 7 minutes to go here now. This is more of an uphill battle for Calgary. Kraken on the shorty breakaway. They take one out of the Flames book, John, and make it 4-2.
Yeah, this game has been absolutely wild as we get the icing. And again, I felt so good about it in the sense that Calgary came that close. And now you have to go ahead and talk about the other side of the ledger. Philip Grubauer has been brilliant.
Yeah, he has. He absolutely has. It's been a little bit of luck. It's been a lot of skill. And you know what? The Kraken have to be commended for weathering an absolute thunderstorm from the Calgary Flames, just being peppered. And then they take their one opportunity, happens to be shorthanded, and they absolutely close the door. I mean, see, it feels that way. I won't say absolutely. We'll take that part back. But that breakaway goal, while shorthanded, that certainly has put butts back in seats here. And when it comes to fans at the Saddle Dome, they were on their feet, but now they are back in their seats, John.
Kadri turnaround chance, saved by the stick of Grubauer, as he had a good look at it. Pospisil, good outstretched stick, as this is still canceled near the left side boards. Beniers will throw it around the embankment. Larson now for Dunn. 35-27, what a hit! Marty Pospisil on Dunn, and this is going to draw a crowd.
Oh, Beniers is right in there. Dunn, yeah, he's going to the bench now. Things are getting a little bit chippy, and by a little, I mean a lot. Dunn holding his right ear. Oh, my goodness, Pospisil, he has been hot. Beniers is furious, John, the Michigan man, going up against multiple Flames. They will not relinquish their grip on each other. Schwartz in the mix. And we got Kuzmenko in the mix. I think we're going to have multiple penalties here as well.
I know that there is a lot to talk about, but just humor me for a moment here. For Matty Beniers to at least show that and show that type of grit, that's going to have a lot of extra kudos, brownie points in the locker room. Is it not for the young man?
Yeah, listen, Matty Beniers, he is a massive part, if not the biggest part of the future of the Seattle franchise. And yeah, that is Pospisil coming in.
Oh, my goodness.
Dunn, who's facing the glass there. That is a serious hit. Dunn, I'm not sure if he has a neck issue, jaw issue, could just be the ear, that tissue getting pinned up against the glass. That cannot be good for the Kraken and Dunn. My goodness. I think that the fisticuffs there were fully justified, at least in terms of the unwritten rules of hockey.
I think for Vince Dunn, and I'm not trying to make a joke here, I'm being serious, because that was a massive collision. That felt like a car crash. I think Dunn might have a case of tinnitus ringing in the ears on that side, because Marty Pospisil has already dropped the house a couple times in this game, And Vince Dunn, we see that as Pospisil is in the box. He is really hurt.
Yeah, not a great look for Pospisil right there. And I can understand there's frustration. I can understand these players know better than anyone what is on the line, what could be slipping through their fingers right now, what they could be strengthening their grip on. Now we have the iPad out, headsets on the referees. Looks like they're going to review this thing. I am curious potentially if there's a chance that a misconduct could be issued to Pospisil. Dunn pretty much unprotected, back to the ice. He's facing the glass there in the near corner, just where the trapezoid meets the near corner, and he gets absolutely blindside drilled. And that, look, I'm proud of the Flames. I'm proud of the team being generally pretty upstanding. That's a heat of the moment situation right there, but we can't make excuses. Not a great decision right there for number 76, Mark Pospisil in red.
No, he's got his back turned as Vince Dunn, and his neck collides in the boards there as Pospisil gets a very late hit on a back turn there where you know that's automatically going to be a penalty. And as Cooper said, they could easily give him a misconduct and his night would be done. We know what the big man can bring. That was a late hit there on that side for Pospisil. I don't know if he's going to get Department of Player Safety, but he might be kicked out of this game. We'll see what we get.
Yeah. Getting the official call here right now, John, and looks like we're going to see 5 minutes here. Pospisil stands up in the penalty box, and he will skate across the ice and into the locker room. That's going to be a 5-minute major penalty against Mark Pospisil. I think, unfortunately, that is the right call. Try to be neutral, try to be professional with it here. No player deserves to be hit like that under those circumstances, or really ever. And Beniers is the first one to the scene there, and his reaction absolutely justified. And Ryan Huska and the Flames, it's got to be disappointing. It's going to change the outcome potentially of this game. Now, the Flames still had a steep climb here, down 2 with just over 6 to play. But yeah, it's going to be pretty much all Kraken here you would expect for the next 5 minutes, and almost be able to run the time off of this game.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be such of a shameful ending as what it could be, because Calgary, man, was right there from what it was. It was such an awful first period. They turned it around. They had chances. Kuzmenko almost gets that. We almost call it during the live broadcast. And then a breakaway goal for McCann, shorthanded, as he gets a pair of goals. Seattle, this is a big game for them. But again, all they'll be is in the same spot the Flames already were at the end of the night, as this one gets blown dead with 5:46 in the third. But Cooper, albeit no matter how this ends, we were treated to a heck of a hockey game today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think it's just a culmination of a lot here. It looks like we're going to get a slash. That was Rooney possessing the puck, and so we're going to have a 2-minute 4-on-4. But remember, after this, boy, so the thing's kind of wobbling here. Tolvanen is going to be called a hook, not a slash. So Tolvanen goes off. 4-on-4, that changes the complexion here of what the Flames could do. You wonder if during this period they might extremely early pull the goaltender. Who knows what Huska's thinking, but the Flames need goals and they need them fast.
Yes, they do. Kadri can't win the draw here as the Flames are down by 2. About 5:40 left to go in this third. All of a sudden now, Seattle up a couple goals. Marty Pospisil's night is done after the hit on Vince Dunn. As this is picked up now, Rasmus Anderson put this around the embankment. This goes high on a play. 4-on-4 for $1.44, and then after, Seattle goes back to the power play.
Yeah, and that's a tough situation because there's enough time left. You don't want to get too risky, but Huska's got to do something. His team did I can't say it enough. His team did everything but score, both at 5-on-5 and during that most recent power play for the Flames, I should specify. And now you have this situation 4-on-4, a little more ice to use, but you don't want to just leave the goal mouth wide open by pulling Markstrom. So I think that you just hope, right, John? You're down by 2. You got to, maybe you're double shifting your top lines, hoping to get within 1, and then maybe you make that decision going to the goaltender pulled as the Kraken return to their power play with that major still a factor. Is that something that you expect to see? I mean, I don't know at this point. I'm just guessing at it.
I know you just said that you don't want to see it now because the goal mouth will be wide open, but I feel like even for Huska, I would take the chance now during the 4-on-4, at least for a couple minutes, so you wouldn't have to be shorthanded. You could actually be up a man at this point. I know it's very risky right now, but this might be the best chance to do it while you're on a 4-on-4, go 5-on-4 for a couple minutes.
Yeah, you know what? You might have convinced me of it. I think so, and especially given what is at stake here. Right, this is what we talked about with Greg Conroy and the trade deadline. I mean, now it's all coming into play in such dramatic fashion.
Yes.
This isn't just a Monday night hockey game now for both of these teams. All of a sudden, the Kraken outlook becomes that much more rosy, and the Flames outlook, and that's part of where Pospisil's frustration came from. Certainly not justified, but you can at least understand a portion of it and why he's reacting that way, because he may no longer be teammates with some of his teammates. We're going to be talking tomorrow. This is what's on the line for the Flames right now.
Yeah, there's a lot to do. Again, we were going into this maybe as a Monday night in the late game and thinking that this was going to be pretty good. And all of a sudden, the pendulum just keeps going back and forth here. So 4-on-4 for 1:40. Huberdeau got
net, John, empty net.
Thank you for that, as it is the empty net as we were calling on this side. This would be the best time to do it. Huberdeau, fake the slapper. Now for Weegar, as he's got it near the right side. Doug gets it back, cross pass and behind the net. Flames still dancing with it. Sharangovich, now for Weegar, as the Flames have Markstrom pulled. It's 5-on-4 for a moment, but then it'll go back to even here. Here's a chance that goes off the left pad of Grubauer, and now Seattle stuck. Larson couldn't go anywhere. Fake the slapper for Weegar as Calgary has it. Nazem Kadri. They're still patient behind the net. Huberdeau with a chance is the right pad save for Grubauer. And this one will get bounced. MacKenzie Weegar now across the flaming sea. Everybody gets back on side. I guess not. 4:37 left to go in the third. We're offsides.
Man, if there's one thing that I can say is true tonight is the Flames have looked pretty dang good on the power play,
Yes.
John. I mean, they were right around it again. Kuzmenko almost gets his patty. He had the stick blade just up off the ice looking for the deflection. Huberdeau's had multiple sharp angle shots, but they've been pretty productive. And now with 4:37, 37 shots for Calgary, 27 for the Kraken, but it's 4-2 Seattle. Another face-off win. You talked about how the Kraken struggle at the dot, and that has continued here. There's a pass that's shoveled out, kept down by Hanifin, but now the Kraken have it. They're dancing at neutral ice, and the net is empty. Flames have to regain possession. Back to you, Mr. Rod.
So McCann will send this one back down. Again, the Flames have 35 shots on goal. That might not matter here at this point. Here's a dancing move for Hanifin. Able to take it away for Tanev, who didn't shoot into the empty net. 4:05 left to go in this third, with 35 shots from 2 in the first period. That is all of a sudden completely turned around. And now the Flames still need a couple goals. Markstrom has vacated the goal crease pretty much from the 5:40 mark of this third period. It's 3:50 left to go. Fans are starting to exit a little bit as it's back when here's his pass, a little bit too far for Grubauer. And now Seattle 5-on-5 here with the net pull. 2:20 left to go in the major against Marty Pospisil. This might be the time where I think if we get a stoppage, Markstrom comes back into the crease. And we will get one. And now Coleman and now Tanev are starting to go. Turbo's got all locked up right now. No fists right now. They're just holding up.
Oh, boy. Now we're seeing some hands thrown, John. And Tanev is sick of being pushed around. He has been roughed up tonight, both by shots hitting him and by Flames hitting him. Now he's hitting Coleman. Coleman with some uppercuts. Tanev throws a right. Coleman goes down. Boy, respect to both of these guys for not grabbing onto each other's hair. They went jersey only, but they are screaming back and forth, John.
They are exchanging some F-bombs. It's two tough customers here on both sides in many different ways. I know I said it earlier in the broadcast here, Cooper, that we were treated to a hell of a hockey game. Well, let's put the rubber stamp on it today, regardless of whatever happens. I think you and I know there's a lot as far as points in the standings, but this game was really good today.
Yeah, and look, I'm getting a replay right here, John, on the Sportsnet side. That looks to me like Tanev catches an edge near the wall, but I think he thought that Coleman drove him into the boards. And boy, Tanev, Coleman dropping gloves. Tanev the first to throw the gloves down. He wants to go. I don't think Coleman was as came down to it, Coleman unafraid, and they were throwing some pretty big haymakers. Man, oh man, it's been a wild one here. So Tanev's going to go. Coleman's going to be gone. He's in the room now because, hey, 5 minutes for fighting. There's only 3:35 left to go. 2:16 on the Seattle power play. Multiple players shuttling in and out of the box, John. This has been pretty insane, but I think when we see it all said and done, it's going to be a victory for the visiting Kraken.
Yeah, it may very well be on that side, but again, I think you and I, in between Seattle and Calgary, this is even more on a ledger than I probably would have expected. I knew both the teams were desperate going in. Both these teams now will be 7 points back, and regardless of what happens in tonight's part of the scoreline, but we've seen some fisticuffs. We've seen some excellent goals. We've seen some backbreakers. I still can't help but think that it was 11-2 on the shot board after one, and now the Flames have 38. They were that close. I mean, Sharangovich could have scored 4 times in this game, or Kuzmenko, could have scored 4 times in this game, but Seattle's got 4, and now they have the puck, as they still have time on the 5-minute major for Marty Pospisil. I don't even think I'll be able to digest everything we saw today even before I go to sleep tonight. As Jordan Eberle, now for Matty Beniers, gets it here for Eberle near the right side of the red line. This will be matriculated around the end boards, and Seattle can start this back per normal. Jacob Markstrom back in the goal crease. Feel like he's going to be tethered there until the power play is expired. And essentially, that might run out all the time. Here, Schwartz has a chance to shoot. And now they could pretty much play keep away here, Seattle. They would be smart to do so at this point with a 2-goal lead, as their power play is down to 90 seconds. Eberle could stick in the lane for Hanifin, as this is not a Backlund. This will go across the Flaming Sea, and Seattle will start again. Eberle, fake the slapper. Now he'll let one go. Markstrom will hold on. 2:34 left to go in the third.
Yeah, John, it's starting to feel like the end of this current version of the Calgary Flames team. Just call it a gut feeling, perhaps. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's just the fact that we've been talking about it. But as I watch Jacob Markstrom right now, I do have to wonder, as the Flames are set to go on a road trip and face some tough teams in the East, is this the last time that we're going to see Markstrom at home at the Saddle Dome? It could be likely, slightly likely, but we can modify it any way we want. But with this outcome, I think with each moment that passes, it could be the end of the line here in Calgary, Alberta, for Markstrom, Hanifin, etc.
It could be, and again, we'll know that maybe even 24, 48 hours. The trade deadline's on Friday. Jaden Schwartz lost an edge on his skate blade. You could hear it reverberate through the arena, and then his stick was broken as he had to rush his way to the bench. It's a delayed penalty against Calgary, and this really will kill the rest of the time. So it's going to be window dressing here as Larson now. And up the back end, he hopes he doesn't have to take another big hit, as Vince Dunn already did against Marty Pospisil. So that was the major. Alexiak now for Burakovsky. It's got near the left side dot, shot too far, and this will go all the way down the ice. So essentially, this will not be a 5-on-3 against Calgary. Seattle has it back in their own end, and their major that will expire. As this will be an opportunity now, Yanni Gourde will go ahead and back it up. And across the Flaming Sea, it's Schwartz. Off the drop for Jared McCann. He's on hat-trick watch today. Finally touched here. Seattle goes to the power play, but that is going to kill this game.
Yeah, so now the outcome is essentially written, and it's going to be a loss for Calgary here, a tough one to swallow. Certainly a winnable game, but it does remind me of former 2-time Flames coach Daryl Sutter. The Flames just did not start on time. I know that's sort of a hockey phrase, but I just think of old Coach Sutter saying that one. And the Flames here, led now by Ryan Huska, they put up a fight. They really have put up a fight over the course of certainly the last couple weeks or so. 5-game winning streak. It's been a pretty up and down season, a strange one to say the least, and one in which the Flames are going to now have to face the reality that underperforming means players are going to be moved out and new pieces are moved in. I love what Kuzmenko's done. Sharangovich has been a great acquisition. There are things to be happy about, John, but as we get toward the last minute of play here, it just starts to be another new look version of this team. How many new looks must there be before things really take hold and this team can go on a run again?
Hey, again, as this puck goes out of play, I will say this, Cooper, on this side. I went through this with the Red Wings not too long ago, about 5 years here with Steve Eisman as Ken Howell left them bare. Now for the Flames, at least for me, there are rebuilding pieces going forward on top of the core that Brad Treliving left, whether it was warranted or not, because some of those extensions might be a little bit too long. But there are pieces going forward on this team that you still feel good about along the young pieces when the Red Wings didn't have anything. So I feel like if Craig Conroy continues to do the right things, he should be able to at least have a competitive product, as I told you before, around the 3 years when you get that new building. I don't think it's going to take as long as people expect, and I'm not trying to look at it with rose-colored glasses.
No, absolutely not. And look, we're inside 30 seconds to go here. It's a foregone conclusion. But yeah, you look at the Shillingtons, the Rasmus Andersons, great glove save by Marsh. Boy, if this is going to be it, he just made a couple of beautiful saves. One on Eberle, who had a clear shooting lane, and then he makes a great trapper save right there with 19.3 to go. So we'll let this one run out, John. Maybe I'm being a little too storybook about it, but these Flames, this version of the team, I've really appreciated. Even though they haven't been the class of the league necessarily, they've played hard. They've had some results. They haven't come as frequently as they've wanted as time winds down 5 seconds. But credit to the Kraken. The Flames here really put up a fight. Just couldn't get that tying goal. And ultimately, as the time hits 0.0, Grubauer gets the taps on the helmet. He earned it tonight. You pointed it out. Such skill and really resilient as the Flames pushed as hard as possible. But as has been the case, not enough. And changes, you have to think, are coming very soon.
So I will say this. It's a 4-2 final. The Kraken able to take this one again. They put themselves in the same spot as the Flames going into today, being 7 points out. Again, as much of as a death sentence as this might feel, I don't think any of us are painting the correct picture yet on that side because you got to wait until Friday. And again, there's still plenty to work with here with the Flames in the future, even though this season could or could not be done. But again, there is no guarantee with the 2 points today that Seattle makes the postseason. They still have a lot to do. I mean, Nashville's going to have to start losing some games or everything is going to be becoming a moot point. What I do want to say before we close out here officially in this game, 12 penalties in this third period. Again, the Flames had just 2 shots after one. They end up leading on the shot board 38-30, but they fall 4-2. And again, Kuzmenko, he was a highlight show amongst his own. Again, he had a couple goals there for Jared McCann to close this out. But let me close out with this. I know we're probably going to join in between Tuesday or Thursday between Colorado or Vegas because after that, we can talk about the season. We can talk about the moves. There's a lot to do. Just in case you're wondering, now there is 21 games left on the season plus the deadline on Friday. So what's the hope? What's left? So unfortunately for Calgary, they have no games left against Nashville, but they do have 2 games against LA, who sits in wild card numero uno. What are the must wins? This is what Calgary's got left. 2 against Anaheim, 2 against San Jose, and then 1 against Arizona, Montreal, Buffalo, Washington, and Chicago. There's plenty of winnable games on the schedule for Calgary, regardless of the moves that are made, but it's got to start right now.
Yeah, no question. And this is what we touched on earlier. Okay, so you take the L tonight in regulation, don't even get the single point in the game that, as we agreed, looked like it was dialed in for overtime. Not to be, though. It's a 4-2 win for the Kraken. So the Flames, they move on to Thursday to face that old nemesis from a couple decades back. Took them all the way to Game 7, the Tampa Bay Lightning, when Vincent Lecavalier and Nikolai Habibulin, they took that Stanley Cup. Another time when it felt like the Flames were sort of the team destiny there. Tonight they seem to be to have destiny on their side as they were looking so good in that middle portion of the third period, but could not get the goal. So John, here we go. As you pointed out, winnable games, absolutely, but they're mostly coming after the deadline. So what is that going to mean? It's going to mean potentially opportunities for some more of that youth that's right now with the affiliate in the AHL, and you're going to see some other pieces step in, I believe. Now, look, I don't want to get ahead of myself. We cannot assume that players are going to be moved out, which again we list folks like Hanifin, Markstrom, but with tonight's loss, you'd have to think that the Lightning game may come. I don't think it's too late because decisions can still be made on Friday, but there's just a lot going on over the course of the next couple of days, John. I'm not sure if the Lightning game is really going to tell the whole tale. I think that there have been some decisions made by the time we get there.
I agree with you on that side. You got to leave Craig Conroy plenty of time to pick up the phone. I think he's going to have a very busy tomorrow side, as he already has. It struck midnight on the East. I do want to just mention this. We went through Calgary's schedule. Let's go through Seattle's very quickly. So here's their remaining highlights. So here's their must-wins. I'll give you the rosy first. Anaheim 3 times, Arizona twice, San Jose twice. That sounds great. You got Buffalo and Montreal fixed in. Here's the tough, and this is why I don't think Seattle's going to get in either. They have not played Winnipeg yet this year. They got to play them 3 times, Vegas twice, Dallas twice, Nashville, LA, who are already in the wild card, and Minnesota. It is maybe a little bit harder for Seattle to get into the postseason.
Yeah, I think you're right. We're looking at 2 teams here who are really up against it. And it's as simple as not controlling your own destiny. When you have rivals that we've pointed out, when you have the Kings doing what they're doing, when you have Nashville, who really did struggle earlier, their trajectory has been one that both the Kraken and the Flames would love. Sure, okay, struggled early, all the fan base is worried about how the season's going to go. All of a sudden, we find our game, we turn it around, and we're picking things up just at the right time as we hit the home stretch. Well, the Predators can say that. The Kraken, the Flames, they can't. And that's why we are where we are. And even if either of these teams that we watched tonight, as we cover this game, even if they were to go on a tear, you have to have the folks above you start to cool off. And it doesn't seem like, listen, of course there are going to be losses. You can't win every game unless you were the Edmonton Oilers earlier this year, when you can apparently win every game, or the Boston Bruins last year. So I guess you can win every game sometimes. But by and large, there's going to be some regression to the mean. But is it too little too late for both the Flames and the Kraken?
Yeah, that's what we're wondering. That's why we threw it out there again. As Cooper said, LA's picked it up. Nashville's won 8 in a row. So by the time we catch back up with you on the Tuesday or Thursday side, again, I'll be here for both of those between Colorado and Vegas, no matter what happens. Cooper and I are going to tell you about all the trades. We're going to tell you about what's ahead for both of these teams to kind of paint a clear picture if we didn't already today. I think if you asked us, playoffs might be on the outside looking in because it depends on clearly what happens in front. But still, this was a great game today. At least the Flames were able to answer a little bit after a very rough first period. To see that desperation of both of these teams, yes, it means a lot, but you're going to need teams in front of you to lose. We'll catch up again next week, Cooper, because we're going to have a lot of itinerary to figure out.
Yeah, we're going to be I'm going to have to remind myself to not step on you when you're trying to call the actual game action. We'll have plenty to talk about, lots of storylines, both with these teams and with franchises around both the West and the East. This was a good one, John. They somehow always turn out to be.
Yes.
The scoreline aside, the way that this game played out was really exciting, and it was a true hockey game. Fisticuffs. You're getting majors. You're getting gloves dropped. You're getting penalties. Lots of shots. Momentum swings back and forth. Credit to Grubauer and the visiting Seattle Kraken. And also, hey, for whatever it means, this roster for the Calgary Flames, I've so appreciated as a fan. I don't think that there are going to be, changes that change the face of who the Flames are. But it's going to happen. It's trade deadline time. Craig Conroy is going to be on the phone, as you said, and we'll have lots to talk about next week for sure.
Well, you take care of yourself, my friend. I'm sure we'll text back and forth if anything gets thrown down the hammer on Friday, but I know we'll catch back up next week. You have a good one.
Absolutely. Great job again tonight, bud, and we will talk again soon.
Sounds good.
All right.
So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Cooper Hopkins was with me. We joined in on this game. It was a really good one in between the Flames and the Kraken. You can sense the desperation. You can cut it with a knife on that end. The Kraken do take this one, but you kind of wonder how far it's going to take both of these teams. This deadline is going to be very interesting on Friday. And I will see you on Thursday when I cover my alma mater, Oakland Golden Grizzlies. Still TBD as far as the Horizon League tournament, but then I will be back on Saturday for the Red Wings and the Golden Knights. I'm sure Cooper and I will reconnect on Tuesday or Thursday as the Flames take on the Avalanche and the Golden Knights on the Tuesday-Thursday side. We'll get one of those. We'll get you the recap all set up with the deadline, and we'll let you know where everything is. I think we painted a pretty good picture today, but there's still a lot of work left to do, so we'll see you then together next week, but I'll be on the YouTube side on Thursday. Peace, everybody. Have a good one.